Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Yo.
And Brandon Jones.
I missed you.
You missed me?
I wasn't here last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I missed you too, dude.
Oh, thanks, Kyle.
Yeah. This week's episode, we're going to be going through it in a blistering pace. With all the news that's happening, it's E3 season. This week's episode is jam-packed. And so if we seem rushed, it's just because of it. We're excited. It's just because there's so much I want to talk about this week. And yeah, we got Red Bulls. We're flashing our Red Bulls. I want to fit it all into this week's podcast. But of course, we must start with corrections. Brandon Jones, please begin corrections music. Great. We got some funny ones this week. The Chateau was in Uncharted 2. The Burning Chateau is not Uncharted 3. I got that one wrong. The Locusts do come back in Gears of War 4. Mm-hmm. We made fun of it just for being a robots game, and it's like, no, the Locusts come back. You just got to play a little further into it. Ben, you said they're in most of the game. You said, yeah.
I don't know if most is correct, but they're in a good chunk of the game.
Many Marvel directors got to write their own movies, so it's just Russo brothers didn't. Tom Cruise is not going to be in the Mary Poppins Returns movie.
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe that's all we talk about Mary Poppins Returns for this week because it's a rushed episode, Jones. I know you have a lot to say. I think this week is not the week. We'll save it.
Can I give a quick analogy?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
a reference. And we can leave it at that. No one needs to even comment
Just
that.
give me a quick analogy.
What if Bill and Ted 3 did not have Keanu Reeves or Alex Winters and no one cared? I'll leave it at that. And everyone was like, oh, sounds like fun. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. A runny nose is called rhinorrhea. And corrections music. Isn't that real? I mean, isn't that funny? That's a real thing. Rhinorrhea.
That's funny.
Mom, I got rhinorrhea. Let's get to the news. First of all, we're recording this podcast before Battlefield 5's reveal event that is happening on Wednesday of this week. I don't expect to be. I don't feel like we're missing a scoop. The big scoop is that it is World War II, as was rumored. Hey, Battlefield 5 is in fact World War II.
And probably can't improvise with that short time frame from the Call of Duty reveal. It's not like they can watch Call of Duty and be like, we'll change our announcement.
Oh, they can, dude.
Right.
We're going to talk about that reveal. Let's do it now. Let's talk about the reveal now. Let's skip some stuff. Let's talk about that now. Last week, we had the Call of Duty. I didn't realize they were going back-to-back weeks, too.
Yeah.
That was just last week. The Call of Duty Black Ops 4 reveal event happened, and we didn't leave with many scoops that weren't already leaked.
Right.
Basically, there is a Battle Royale mode that is happening.
Blackout.
That will have land, sea, and air vehicles, which is kind of cool. That makes it unique in some element. And also, they showed like a skyscraper, which I can't imagine how this like functions in a Battle Royale game.
A lot of people climbing up the side scraper too, and the shop pulled out.
Yeah.
And that takes some patience.
Mm-hmm. They would not announce if it's 100 players or not, and they just said many, but it will be the last man standing, and that it will include characters from old Black Ops games. Mm-hmm. The way they sold it was so funny. Just remember when you were Domingo in the back of a van? And it's just like, no, I don't remember any of these moments. I mean, obviously people do. Obviously Black Ops games sell like crazy, but I don't remember. They treated these characters with the regard that you would celebrities that are memorable. And that's it. You in the Battle Royale game for Call of Duty, you'll be able to be characters who previously were in Black Ops games.
No idea how many will be available at launch, or if you're gonna have to pay through the nose to get the bonus ones.
No idea on all those things. Jones, were you at that event?
I was.
What would you do? How would you describe that event?
That event was very similar to the Destiny event. The major difference was Destiny 2, from last year. The major difference was from Destiny 2, there was a lot of different things to sample. Mm-hmm. There were different modes to check out. I got my hour of multiplayer, and that was it. They're basically like you can play exactly what you just played on PC, and that's basically all we have on offer today. So the actual gameplay offerings were less than Destiny 2 last year. So that was surprising. But what I played was fun.
Were you in the live audience?
I was in the live audience, yeah.
Can you describe the way that the live audience reacted to the announcements And I mean, we'll get to it, but like, it was just strange to me, like zombies, here we go. And then like, there's like cheers and things like that. Were they all genuine? Was everybody genuinely into what they were watching?
I mentioned, if you watch, I sat down with Brett Ellis, we talked about the event, and I don't remember specifically. There was one announcement that I felt was genuine, and I can't remember, because things were off to me, like the Alcatraz Blood of the Dead expansion thing was kind of odd. Like, there definitely was that, like, 24 fans were like, woo! They're like, you know, were like, that was my favorite.
Yeah,
like, okay.
The favorite 4 zombies and the heroes, right?
Yeah.
And just like, there's just some guys wearing suspenders.
Taking a stab at it, watching the event, the thing that seemed the most genuine to me was when they were like, "Hey, you can't wall run. We're gonna focus on boots on the ground." That seemed to.
Oh, that was really funny, actually.
Yeah, get some.
They said, "Will there be double jumps?" And there's a big no on the screen behind them, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Will there be wall run? No.
Right.
Will there be boots on the ground? Yes. Like that was how they presented. Ben, that was thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot that.
It was interesting.
Kind of condescending in a dumb way,
Yes.
but yeah, the audience loved it.
But condescending to themselves.
yeah, I guess so.
And like instinctually, the first thing I wanted to do when I played multiplayer was like, oh yeah, that's right, no double jump. I like that. I thought
Did
that
you
was
try to
fun.
run against a wall?
No, I knew that wasn't coming. And you know, not only was there not wall running, but the maps in Black Ops 3 were definitely geared toward that. So you would see like a gap you were supposed to jump over, and then a whole other wall along the side.
Sure. And as you just said, you shot a whole preview about it, but I'm still curious really quickly, did you feel like your boots were on the ground, Jones?
My boots were definitely on the ground. It definitely felt like there was more stationary places to take advantage of in maps. There were definitely like some really wicked windows that was just like, oh man, if you can just run around the corner there and just plant yourself there, you can do a lot of damage. And there seemed to be some fun synergy with the abilities. It's just tough because like a lot of people wanted to try out different classes and so you only really get one shot. So there was a lot of shouting like between matches, like, how do I do this? And it's like, sorry, we gotta load the next match. Okay, next one. Like, all right. I'd love to use that ability, but I'm not sure how that works.
Damiani, the biggest story, really, is the non-story. Throughout this entire presentation, there was no mention of a campaign. As if there was no reason for any of us to expect there to be a campaign in a Call of Duty game. The game that's been the best-selling game in the world for years running, based off the same formula year after year after year, suddenly does not have a campaign, which was rumored. It turned out to be true. What do you think about this? Was this handled the right way?
I mean, it had been rumored for a while. I don't know if it leaked or something that people were saying that it was not going to have a story mode. I guess for me, it's shocking that they are opting not to go with the story mode for Black Ops 4 because I was under the impression that of the games, the Black Ops games had some of the best storytelling and people like the stories the most in the Black Ops games.
People really like Black Ops 1 and 2. I would say the reaction to the Black Ops 3 campaign is mixed at best. Not necessarily amongst the easy allies, but amongst the general...
Just general public?
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yes.
I definitely played 1, and I was like, this is a better level of storytelling than I'm used to in the Modern Warfare games. And so, yeah, just even if they had one game that was off with 3... I hope that was not the reason they didn't come back to this. It has to be more than this.
So the rumor was, and it kind of seems clear, they wanted the team to focus on the Battle Royale mode and to ditch the campaign, which didn't seem to be coming together well, like 3 months ago. I want to read a quote, Damiani, which is really funny. This was Eurogamer interviewing Dan Bunting, the co-studio head at Treyarch, straight up asked, hey, so I understand that you had a campaign that was canceled, and the first response was, oh, no. We were never planning to do a traditional campaign. And the interviewer, props to you, came back and said, so what you're saying is there was never a campaign for this game. And I want to read you the direct response to that. There was never a traditional campaign. We've always wanted to tell stories in different ways. We've always wanted to celebrate our community, especially how you play the game with friends. The heart and soul of this game is how you play games with friends. And we wanted to do more with that than we ever done before. Just pfft.
You could play the Black Ops 3 campaign co-op, so
yeah.
I had plenty of fun with that with friends.
Yeah.
And
it's just funny. It's fun. I mean, I think this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you train for, and in a position like that is to find a good thing. But it's just so weird to me. They won't say, "Hey, it just didn't work out the campaign." It's so weird to me to have that whole presentation, to have people. 100,000 people, or 200,000 people by the end of it, watching the reveal of Black Ops 4, and then not even say the word, "We're sorry, there's no campaign this year." or like acknowledge that. Basically, the way they spun it during the presentation is things are always evolving. We're always trying out new things, and this is what we're trying out this year.
I mean, that sounds kind of funny when you talk about including a battle royale mode, but don't show any of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
there were three main weird things to me about this event,
things.
about the stuff that they showed. One, what you just said, the fact that they completely, rejected that concept that they would ever think, no, why would we ever think to have a campaign? It's not like 1, 2, and 3 were not amazing campaigns. Having Blackout not be shown at all. Not even like demo footage over someone's shoulder doing that. They were the PC segment. They had all sorts of like, look at this on different monitors and look at all the work we've been doing on the PC version. Oh yeah, Blackout, nothing to show. Game comes out in 5 months. And the weird like 9 zombies map that had the protagonists from the Voyage of Despair map. So they have this like Titanic mission where you're on the Titanic and all the zombies are on the Titanic.
Yep.
And you can just imagine kind of where that's going to go. And then the same protagonists are now in like ancient Rome and are not talking.
They showed that one first. They showed the Rome one first, and then the Titanic one.
So like they show up and like they're all drinking this weird liquid and just kind of like nodding at each other, and you're like, why is no one talking? And like this weird creepy voice is like, yes, I'm a creepy person. Drink the green fluid, and it's like, why would you do that? Like, why are they excited about not having any idea what's going to happen when they do this weird ritual with this potion?
And then it makes them time travel, right?
That's time travel, and their lives are threatened, and they're like, yes. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, whereas in Voyage of Despair, they clearly didn't want to get in trouble there. Like, they were clearly in a situation, they just wanted to steal this thing and get off the boat. But, oh, now we got to deal with zombies. And then there's this other, it just feels like they were like, there's so many things that felt like we're doing the best we can about the event. They were so clear to me. No campaign, weird map integration with zombies. Oh, here's this other one that's a sequel / remake of the map we did before.
Yes.
No footage of that. And Blackout, can't see it at all. But we're totally on track for this game. It just really felt like they were covering for something. I think
that's fair.
They're not going to admit it, and we can't put our finger on it.
A game that's coming out in a couple of months.
Yeah.
October, earlier than ever this year.
Weirdest COD announcement I've ever seen. Just really strange. Lots going on in the game, and the multiplayer was fun. I mean, I really liked the. I definitely found like 1 or 2 of the specialists that I like, and I'll probably play as those. Recon's fun because it's just fun to like paint the map, be like, there are all the bad guys. There we go.
Oh, and you can see them through walls, that stuff too?
Which they've done before. They had grenades, I think, previously in COD games that did that, but it's just one specialist, just ability now.
It's weird. I mean, it will again be the best-selling game of this year. It's just I wonder if this game will keep the momentum going. I do. It'll be interesting for sure.
And I bet Blackout's going to be interesting. I bet Blackout's going to be an interesting conversation when we finally get a look at that.
All right, one last question. Do you think Blackout will be in the game when it launches?
No.
Okay, I don't think so either. I'm with you on that.
I say as much in our preview,
Capcom announced Resident Evil 7 cloud version for Japan only, launching this Thursday. This is Resident Evil 7 on the Switch, but it is streamed to your Switch. It's not running on your Switch. You're using your internet connection to play a version of Resident Evil 7 on your Switch.
Right. I didn't even know they had this service available.
It's there, baby.
It's there now, apparently.
Yes. Let me give you one more detail. It is around $18 for 180 days.
That's the strangest thing.
That is, I did not know that.
Yes.
Bizarre.
So
you get a ticket that lasts for 180 days.
Yeah, you can't buy it, but
a dime a day.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
It's like it's a extended rental period essentially for the game. You do not own it. Mm-hmm. This is. I'm really curious to see how this does because. I mean, I remember hearing about that first, but you actually just reminded me, Kyle, that they are doing that rental period thing. Mm-hmm. See how people react to that.
Yeah, it does seem like a test, right?
Yeah, this is definitely a test run because they want to see how consumers react to playing this on a streaming service. Because if it somehow goes well, they now have a case study that shows we can circumvent having to port a game, downgrade it to run on Switch. We can just have it run through a streaming service, and if it runs just fine, we have to spend all that effort to do all this. And you know what? We can actually just charge them a cheaper price to just like basically play it for 3 months because everyone's gonna beat the game in 3 months. Most of our games, it's a win. It feels like a win-win for them, but there's come on. Am I the only one who thinks there's absolutely no way that Resident Evil 7 is gonna run well on a streaming service on Switch? On like what? No.
I think the skepticism is warranted.
Yes. Man, And Switch out of the box is Wi-Fi only, right? You can't Ethernet in without a dongle. Man, what a strange idea for this product.
Yeah.
What?
You don't get to play this on the go. If you don't have a Wi-Fi connection,
Yeah, you're not playing this on the bus.
Yeah, like you lost that benefit of the Switch. I wonder if that's why it's only Japan only, because it might be easier with their coverage over there to be able to
because there's more Wi-Fi all over the place?
More Wi-Fi, but also maybe their streaming setup over there for their streaming game service will be better than if they were trying to play it anywhere else.
I think your case study mentality is absolutely correct, though, because if it works well, great. They can expand onto other titles in more regions, potentially. But if it's not, it's Resident Evil 7, which a lot of people have already played. So if it doesn't work that well, I don't think a lot of people who are heavily invested in Resident Evil are going to feel like they're missing out. And it's just this one region. So this seems to me like a pretty smart move.
Sure. I mean, Jones, you're making an expression of disgust, which I love.
Well, play this on the big screen, please.
Yeah.
Don't play this on your little Switch.
Yeah.
Turn the lights off, put it on the big screen, turn it up as loud as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Please. This
But
game is really good.
Switch is all I have. I only have a Switch.
Great, yeah, but just you dock that sucker and play it that way.
Sure.
And does it come with the expansion stuff?
Oh, good question. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I bet.
Because
no.
that's the only thing.
I think it comes with everything.
Okay, because that's the only thing that
sure
would
it
hinder,
does.
I think, a 3-month time period. Is if they're like, oh, and more news to come on adding the expansion stuff.
No,
like,
I think it
I'd
comes
want to
with
get through all of it. I
everything
still
included,
haven't played
pretty sure,
any of that stuff.
What if this led to something like streaming Monster Hunter World?
I was
on
gonna
Switch?
ask you about that, Ben. I was like, how would you feel about
See,
playing
but there we
Monster Hunter
go.
streaming?
Like that's a game where you could, if you were playing on the go and it didn't look as good, or you were playing on the couch while somebody else is watching TV,
Right.
it's okay because I'm just doing my dumb dailies or whatever.
Right.
Whereas like when it's prime time and I'm with my crew, that's when I'll put it up on the TV.
So I'm on the verge right now. I can't get confirmation about if the DLC is included or not.
I want to say that I saw that it was.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that all
would make sense.
DLC is included.
One thing that they do make note
Still
of
$18,
is
wow.
that this isn't irregular in Japan. That some MMOs you can already stream to your consoles, like Dragon Quest 10.
That's what I would. Okay.
Yeah, to 3DS. Like you could just stream that to your 3DS. I mean, those are MMOs are online games, and
But doesn't that
Resident Evil 7
but I
is very
think those
different to me.
require you to play it from a console first. Like it goes to the console, then it streams it to it, right? Or is the 3DS version like straight up just doing the same exact thing as this, or is it you need a Wii U to stream it to your 3DS?
No way, dude. You need a Wii U to stream it to your 3DS.
Well,
No. I'm
Okay.
going to trust the Verge on this one. I'm going to say if I live in
No,
Japan.
you're probably right.
I'm streaming that straight to
Well,
my
I'm
3DS.
saying, 14 has that option, but you have to have your PS4 running the game, and you can stream it to your Vita.
Gotcha, that's
and
way
you can play it on
different.
your
Yeah,
Vita anywhere in the house as long as the PS4 is running. I don't know if they're doing this. I'm not as familiar with Dragon Quest X. I'm sorry.
I do realize at this point in the podcast, I neglected the objective. So let's just do that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Good job.
This week's objective comes to us from Brandon Chrislip.
Nice.
The objective is to complete the podcast with a perfect score. I have been keeping track. I'll let you know right now. You still have each of you still has a chance of getting a perfect score. Damiani, do you want to take on this objective?
No.
Ben, would you like to take on this objective?
Sure.
Okay. Jones?
After playing Runner 3 tonight, I'm exhausted. I don't know if I can handle it.
Okay, so it's just up to
Stamina,
Ben.
I'm going to lose
Okay.
out for sure.
All right. Good luck, Ben.
Yeah. I like games.
You know I love a game announcement. We don't get to talk about arcade game announcements very often, but I think this one is just worth addressing for a little while. We had an Halo arcade game announced this week called Halo Fireteam Raven. If I could describe it to you, it's a widescreen with 4 seats and 4 guns in front of it. They're like 2-handed guns that you would expect to shoot from a helicopter. But in the game, it's not only just like you're shooting from the Warthog or stuff. Sometimes you're just like using the Needler or like a plasma rifle. The plasma pistol even, which is like the suckiest gun of all time. And you're just like pew, 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 pew in the arcade. Anyway, that's announced. That's coming soon to Dave & Buster's. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot
that's
it's coming to
official.
Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, apparently takes place during Halo 1
Oh, it's
Combat Evolved.
canon.
Yep.
Wow.
Halo spin-offs are usually canon. Normally they go hard on
Like
canon.
an arcade gaming canon. It's fine. It's nice to see arcade games get a little bit of love.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice
Absolutely.
to see a brand new, like, high-profile game like this come out. Obviously, it's not what I think a lot of people who are Halo fans are asking for, but I think I would like to imagine that the Microsoft people, they were just sitting down and someone pitched them, hey, here's this cool tech we could do with an arcade version of Halo. And they showed them the real, said themselves, you know what, this doesn't look too bad. Let's do it. Let's try it out. And Dave & Buster's, being a part of it, they said, hey, we need some good new arcade games. What do you got for us?
Yeah.
They said, we got Halo. And Dave & Buster's like, okay, where do we sign? Dotted line right here.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, like, this is going to sound stupid, but Halo 1 is a nostalgia play today. Just Spartans with regular old visors that are just, like, big and regular looking. The game looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, the elites just looking normal, just, like, going out in fields in a warthog. Like, it just kind of looks like a fun Halo game.
Yes.
In a way that, like, new Halo games don't quite capture that, just like, oh, this looks like fun. You know? It's funny. It is like a total, I think, you know, the adults who go to Dave & Buster's will be into it. Just like, oh, yeah, I used to love Halo. Let me hop in and play this. $2. All right. It's cool. Neat announcement. Oh, another neat announcement from Xbox this week is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. Now, this is this is going to be hard to describe because it looks kind of like a turntable. You know, it's a flat controller with two like black discs on it. But the way it works is that you can plug multiple different like buttons, analog sticks. Help me! I watched that whole trailer. They even show like a Wii nunchuck at some point. Just basically, the idea is that for disabled people who are playing video games, most controllers or a lot of controllers won't work for you. And so basically this controller will work for everybody. There are options for anybody to be able to control things based off of how flexible this controller is, based off the things that you can plug into it through its wires. And that is $100 and coming later this year. Apparently in the works since 2014, working with Able Gamers. So yeah, I just think it's like a really cool product. I think that's a really, really cool move.
Absolutely.
I just think it's neat because I think it just, you add it to the list of a ton of things that Microsoft is doing that Sony is not, that Nintendo is not. Even going back to like custom colored controllers, you know, when they added that functionality, and how they've been taking much more leaps with backwards compatibility than definitely the other two big companies. And you know, we complain a lot about, you know, Crackdown taking forever and Scalebound getting canceled, and, you know, them just not having these big exclusives that Sony has, and even Nintendo, you know, when the Switch launched. But I almost am kind of happy that Microsoft is in maybe this quote unquote desperate position, you know, to maybe like try to get headlines in some way if it incentivizes them to do something like this. And I have to wonder.
That's not quite fair.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't help but think that. I can't help but think Microsoft's wondering, how can we get headlines? You know, what can we do? And not that they wouldn't have thought to do this, but that we would get this now, like before E3, that they would put this much energy and this much funding behind it. And I mean, I think a lot of people, I just saw a lot of sentiment on social media with people saying, your move Sony, your move Nintendo. And how often do we say that about Microsoft? That they do something and we're like, oh, they beat those other companies to producing something like this.
I think we have in the last couple of years with backwards compatibility with Xbox Game Pass. It's been a lot of your move Nintendo, your move Sony.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's that push.
I don't want to make the claim that no one at Microsoft wants to help people with disabilities that have trouble playing console games. Like, right. That is a wonderful initiative.
Yes.
And anybody working on this obviously is doing a great good.
Thank you for clarifying.
A lot of players out there.
Yeah.
I'm just proud of Microsoft because I want Sony to, you know, no one commented on that. We did not get a quote from Nintendo being like, hey, that's cool. You know?
Yeah.
We did not get a comment from a Sony official being like, all right, you know, point taken. Like, that might be something that we want to invest in, or even, you know, have something like this be compatible with our consoles as well.
Yes.
Because if they've done all this work into it, you know, take their expertise and run with it.
Yeah. Your take, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, echoing what Brandon said at the end there, if we're looking at it from the perspective of, hey, it's your move, out of all of the different areas they could have tackled, this seems like the most unexpected and the least likely, but hugely beneficial to an underserved audience, and I think that's incredible. And I do want people to talk about it. I do want to have more people be able to easily enjoy video games. I think that's a great thing. And yeah, I hope this is something that doesn't just immediately fade away, that it's brought up, that it's shown, that it's given a platform. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, because you obviously have a limited audience with it.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at it and I was looking for like the price, I thought, oh man, this gives me $1,000. It's $100. I think Microsoft will lose money on this product, and I think they're willing to take that hit, and I think that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah.
I really dig that. What I also really, really dig, maybe more than anything in this world, is E3. It is now, we're in this period where we're 3 episodes away from E3. We got 3 left, and that means it's time to begin our E3 previews, our press conference previews. I'm so excited about this. I love doing these. I just realized that I said that I like E3 more than the idea of making a controller that helps people who are differently abled. And I realized that wasn't the best language. I was just trying to make a transition. Anyway, I love E3. I love it to death. So I want to, in the next coming weeks, I want to break down each press conference that we'll be seeing, and basically what we'll expect, what we think could happen, what happened last year, what they need to improve upon, things like that. Break it down. Because basically the press conferences are my favorite part of E3. And so the first press conference of E3 will be EA's. EA, again, kicking us off Saturday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Saturday is all theirs. They get all the attention of Saturday. Before we get into any games, what do you think the tone of the EA press conference will be this year?
I don't have any reason to believe it's going to be any different than previous press conferences.
What?
What on earth?
Exact same thing
That is why there was a pause.
What kind of answer are you waiting for?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's the same thing, baby. It's at the same location. It's going to have the same vibe.
Yeah.
Sure.
You really think
feel
so?
identical.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an
Yeah.
influencer get up there.
You really think so?
Probably.
I just feel like you can envision the same beats right now.
But I guess EA got beat up over the last 12 months.
Yeah, but they've been beat up before. Like if you think about the history of EA in the last 10 years, there are plenty of times when they've been beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat up, quote unquote.
The hopeful part of me wants to believe that they learned a lesson over the last year and they'll try and come at this at a different angle. Perhaps, hey, we are about the games. You know, we made some mistakes, but this is going to be our approach going forward, and we feel we're best capable of delivering on this because we've had so many missteps, and you learn from your mistakes. You know, we've learned our lesson, but I also don't think I think even if they're thinking about trying to do that, they're just not going to execute on it. It's going to come off as more of the same.
This is what I see. I see them making an attempt and bungling it.
Yes, exactly. Because think about, like, the Battlefront 2 presentation was kind of an apology for Battlefront 1.
Yes.
It's like, hey, we're going to apologize on this area and not talk about how we're really screwing this game over. It's hard to believe that it's not all smoke and mirrors. Like, what evidence do we have that this is going to be any different from the way it's always been?
So I guess the one thing that I would say EA did that was unprecedented for EA was in response to the backlash for microtransactions in Battlefront, they removed them. They said, okay, you can't spend money on this right now. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy for EA to say no to money because of the backlash.
Yeah, but they also, the reports at the time also said they had a lot of pressure being put on them for Battlefront from Disney. There's a story that came out that said, like, basically Disney was, like, pissed at them about that.
That is still just a report.
Yeah,
it
is
is still
confirm that.
just a rumor, and
I
I want to believe that so bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
that the hammer just
They
came
either
down.
stepped
Like,
it was such an extreme situation that it was mostly business. It wasn't that, our fans are upset. Business pressure was getting to them that said, you have to do something now, or you're screwed.
They haven't had that before.
But look what they're doing now. Their most recent messaging was basically, we are still going to move forward with loot boxes and microtransactions in our games, specifically loot boxes. We're just going to approach it a different way.
Right, because microtransactions are back.
And most everyone else is not really going with that messaging anymore. They're just like, let's stay away from the term loot box. Let's kind of bury it deep down because it's kind of a dirty word right now. EA, for whatever reason, still wants to roll with that. And I'm just worried that at this E3 press conference, we're going to be hearing about loot boxes again. I'm like, no, shut up. Like,
you're not going to hear about loot boxes at the press conference, that's for sure. Do you remember Need for Speed? We had no indication.
You won't. You absolutely won't.
They keep that stuff
I
out.
think the word loot box will not be said once during their E3 press conference.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee
I don't think it'll
the
be
words
said,
loot box will be said.
But
okay.
I mean, Anthem of all things has got to get into that at some point.
Yeah, let's talk about Anthem because I do expect it to be heavily emphasized at this press conference.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you think we'll see the way that we can spend money on Anthem at this press conference?
I really, truly don't.
I don't think they're going to show it.
Because
they'll say something about, you'll have opportunities, but that's not what they're going to focus on. To clarify what I was saying earlier, they might not literally say the word loot box. They might imply like how you're going to be paying for it, which we will like read between the lines and be like, okay, there's where it is. But they're not going to show that system or anything like that.
You just said they're going to show that system.
No, they'll mention something about it, but they won't show it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to show you the coolest parts of that game, hopefully, that they can present. Because they need to make that game look attractive, and a lot's changed since they revealed it before. Like the landscape's changed, and they have to show something that's pretty damn compelling, I think.
From EA's perspective, what incentive is it for them to talk about microtransactions in Anthem when Anthem is something where you could talk about so many other things?
Yeah.
Like I just they're not gonna do it.
If anything, I think they might say, "Don't worry, we heard you about microtransactions." And they're not in the game. This game is a living game. You will spend $60 and you can play it for years. I almost expect that kind of language.
Yeah, but that'll come from the team. That'll come from the dev and not from EA.
I wonder if
I don't think no EA exec is going to touch that, but I wouldn't be surprised if people coming up want to be like, hey, and kind of, alluding, wink, wink, like, yeah, we know there are concerns out there with how these systems work, and we want to make something that benefits the player and works for the community and stuff like that.
I have to wonder if they'll go as far as saying there will be no microtransactions. I wonder if they'll do the softer language of, hey, everything is cosmetic. You can't get a gameplay advantage by spending money in the game.
Do you think we'll see story of Anthem? Do you think we'll see a good story of Anthem? A hook? This is a BioWare game. I'm still getting silence, which to me indicates no.
Same answer as before. Want to believe they have something. I just realistically don't expect what they show to be. It's not going to get me hooked. I'm just worried. I'm worried that what they're going to show is not going to be anything more than generic. It's going to look generic to me.
Sure.
And it's not going to wow me. And I'm just going to look at other games and be like, I'm going back and play more Fortnite. Bye. Like, well, how are you gonna win me over for something like that? And what they showed last time was just no. I was like, oh, looks pretty nice, but I'm hard out. You still like nothing you showed in there was wow, and it was very scripted.
Oh yeah,
they wanted us to see very like specific things. I was like, and even that stuff wasn't that great. Whatever. Like EA, you got to do more. You got to try harder this time. This is your last chance to win people over for this game.
Not that they couldn't spin it around, but the vibe that I keep getting from Anthem, especially from last year's E3, is they're more focused on creating a game where you get to hang out with other people and you get excited about the things that you find and the things that you encounter. Kind of just this, like, this is a great game to play with your friends.
Yes.
And I have to wonder if they'll continue to drive the message home in that way for these big press conferences, instead of having narration or a big, like, let me tell you all about this world. If they're going to focus on you playing Anthem with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, because the demo was weird. The demo opened in the marketplace, first person. You picked up a side quest. I can't remember at all what the deal with that was.
Nope.
And then you like shimmy into your suit. And then as Ben described, that was really the focus of it. Jones, I mean, is there any hope for a cool story out of this game?
Maybe not from a cool story. What I imagine, they didn't do any live demos. They're not going to do that, right?
They don't. They do pretend live.
I think maybe the coolest this could get, which I think could possibly be interesting, especially because we hate it when they're showing a trailer and then they cut to a wide and you're like, please get back to the trailer. But I think it would be interesting, especially for people that are there to talk about it later, if they do a 4-screen gameplay demo. So you see 4 separate perspectives.
Sure.
And it'd be neat if they add as they go along. So the screen lights up in the middle and you're following one person and they bump into their friend and that screen lights up, and then they bump into 2 other people they're playing and then the side screens light up, and so you're watching one fight from 4 different perspectives.
Yeah, I have to correct myself, Jones, because I mean this was something they emphasized heavily last year. Was a huge Battlefront 2 demo. They had a live game happening. They had it shoutcasted. They had multiple shots of every perspective, and it was a live demo. And so, like what you just said is practical, and I expect to see Battlefield 5 in that thing's place this year. I expect to see a huge,
because that's a very easy experience to give to players and have them understand. Where I think we still have some questions about Anthem, where it's like, where can't we fly, and how does the quest system work? And you definitely want that to be pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Or scripted, or have developers play that, and have rehearsed that multiple times.
I think that's why you have the "it will feel exactly the same" response, because the way they presented Battlefield 1 felt very similar to how they presented Battlefront 2, which will probably feel very similar to how they present Battlefield 5 during the event.
Yeah.
The thing about actually the Destiny event, the original Destiny, when that launched, when they premiered that at Sony, and that also felt scripted, but it was fun because it was Jason Jones and his cohort, the guys who created Halo, that I cannot remember, the guy who did the voice directing, and who worked on the Desert Xbox exclusive Recore. And it was neat. It was scripted, but it was the two of them. So you're seeing like these old Halo alums, be like, "Hey, what's up?" from like the other side of the stage, and like, "All right, let's play our fun game that we made." And so even though it was scripted, it was fun seeing them play it, and so that's why I was kind of charmed. That's why I was kind of charmed by that, to be like, oh, "Okay, I know you've done this 500 times. And this isn't going to be difficult for you, but like it's fun seeing you premiere this, just like it's fun seeing Sean Murray, or was fun seeing him walk out on stage. Hey, this is No Man's Sky. It's really neat to see the controller in their hands and them demoing it.
I like that. So show us Casey Hudson. Bring Casey Hudson on the stage. Yeah,
that's not going to happen, but that would be really cool. Or even if it was their voice. Yeah. I am gonna be just like bouncing off what you said, Damiani, and I know this is just like preaching in the choir, and there's no way that they're gonna hear this or react to it, but like, man, if that anthem starts and it's like, "Okay, buddy, let's go get some loot," and like, oh God, please. I'll earmuffs, man. I'm like, I don't want to hear that.
Jones, there's like a 60% chance of that happening right now. "Okay, buddy, let's go get some loot." Yeah.
Look at the size of that monster that I'm sure you're just seeing now.
When they're playing online games.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got this cool armor and yet haven't seen that monster before. I'm sure that happened.
It's weird.
Grr.
Yes.
Why'd we start with this one?
No, it's what E3 starts with. It's how E3 begins. I don't want to keep ragging on Anthem, but I do wonder if EA thinks that the Anthem premiere was a success last year. And actually, it's weird. We're talking about this whole demo. Anthem premiered at EA's press conference last year just as a short little teaser, and then the actual whole thing started in Microsoft's press conference. That's where that whole long gameplay demo was.
In a weird way, I think there's a little bit of an EA filter, where there were some aspects of the Anthem presentation that were less than ideal. I think the very forced kind of co-op talking was bad, but it was like, okay, this is the kind of presentation I would expect from EA, so let me just extract that and look at this game. And I think you do kind of have that. I think that's kind of built in. I don't think expectations are high for a consistently amazingly engaging presentation, but if the game looks good, I think the optimism will beat however they choose to present it.
I hope so. It's so crazy to me. We all love Mass Effect 2.
Right.
Like that's a studio on top of the world at that point.
Right.
And it's just crazy where they are now. I don't expect BioWare to show any games other than Anthem. From the sounds of it, it sounds like all of their teams are now focused on Anthem. A lot of things have been backburnered and shelved, including Dragon Age.
Weird rumors coming out about Dragon Age, though. The other thing about...
Well, don't just say that. What are you talking about?
We've talked about this, about that being a living game. And, it's some quotes that have been made. But one thing that makes me curious how much talking heads we're going to get about Anthem, considering there are so many ways to attack Destiny now. Like, there's so many holes in that armor.
Ooh, I like this.
So many ways that
angle.
They have shown their faults. That like there's so many things, in a, here's handing the disc off, that Sony did to Xbox. They're just like, oh, how many wounds can we open up from that player base who are like, oh, you're not going to do that? Cool.
You can brag about how many planets you have. You can brag about
just your content plans and how that's going to roll out.
Yeah, what are they called? The raids? You can say like, we have 12 raids at launch.
Right.
Is there any company in a less convincing position to make that kind of attack campaign than EA? Like, no.
But do they know that? It's
yes! Yes, I think on some level they have to know that. I think that the winning strategy for them is to, if they have a good game, if they have a fun game, believe in it and show us why it's fun.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
I think Anthem, from what we've seen so far, looks promising. I have no idea if it's guaranteed to be good, but I'm not thinking about Anthem this year at E3 2018 being like, oh man, I hope they can save this. Like, it's not in that position.
Right. I would love to see a villain. I'd love to see an Anthem villain. I have to ask, the chances of this happening might be slim, but we know that EA is working on another Star Wars game. Respawn is developing a Star Wars game directed by Stig Asmussen. It's still happening. It's still there somewhere. Amy Hennig's one is gone. Well, no, gone, not just transitioned into something else entirely. But I mean, that game is still in development and apparently nearing its end. Apparently, it was developing a lot faster than the other Star Wars game. Will we see this at E3 this year?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, will we see it? Well, they'll talk about it.
I want to see it. I don't want to hear it talk. I want to
you'll
see this game.
some kind of in-engine thing of two characters with lightsabers squaring off against each other, and then that'll go to a title. Like there'll be some kind of lead up that sadly will be that weird little dev diary-like thing they love to do.
Yeah.
But it'll end with just like the Hennig thing ended with like, wow, I'm in a spaceport. That shot. You know,
I love that shot. By the way,
it's gonna be it's a good shot. I've seen that shot many times on loop. It's gonna be that, but the whole thing is. I'm just getting the Versus vibe when we saw very early on. We have sticks. Like it's clearly some kind of combat thing. It was like. We are engaging with each other, and they are a multiplayer-focused development, crew. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing up. Remember Jedi Outcast? Remember those games? Maybe footage from old Star Wars games, and then look how good this one looks. That's all you need to see.
Yeah,
Something
and it
like
kind
that.
of is because the game's coming out not this year. It'll probably come out.
If we're not getting it for a while,
2019.
I guess fine.
So yeah, I wonder how much focus you should give it. As Ben is kind of saying, like they don't have a lot of trust left. What can EA show of that game that would make people happy? And it's show them the game. Show them how fun the game is, as he just said. And I don't think they're ready to show that for that game yet. It's my
Because in Battlefront, there are lightsabers, but there's not a lot of... Well, there is like lightsaber on lightsaber combat, but it's just kind of not what you go to Battlefront for.
Right.
Like they really focus on the gunplay.
Oh, you got to be lucky to do a lightsaber on lightsaber.
Yeah.
In Battlefront, yeah.
I do have a lot of faith in Respawn.
Yes.
So it would be I guess a slightly different emotional response for me because, man, I think Titanfall 2 did so much right and deserved a bigger, more elaborate life than it got.
Yeah, and I mean, Stig came from God of War 3, and so Jones, you're right that the Respawn has a multiplayer pedigree, but they also have that single player pedigree. Like this could be a really cool game. This could be a really, really cool Star Wars game.
I agree.
I think they could have a killer trailer, to be honest. I think they could set up a premise with a CG trailer, and I'd still be into it.
I think it could be the biggest takeaway from the show if they do show up.
Yeah.
But just based on past experience.
Poor EA.
Yeah,
You're right? Like they beat us down. Yeah. They beat us down so many times that we're out of hope for them. Yeah, I mean, let's go back through the other things we can expect to see. I think the only sports they like to give attention to are FIFA and Madden. I think those are really the sports games these days.
Oh, yeah.
Those are like the two.
Definitely more FIFA than Madden as of late.
Yeah,
I was gonna
story
say,
mode.
I don't know if it's too soon or not, but one of the last licenses that was wrapped up by PES expires either this year or has expired, because I think this is the last PES. It's one of the European leagues or something was exclusive to PES is gone, and I mean they haven't said where it's going, but it's pretty obvious it's going to FIFA.
So FIFA's going to be the only game out
there.
there.
FIFA will be able to tout that. So if they've wrapped that up, I totally expect them to call that out during their press conference.
You know what's funny? We're talking about these other two games where they don't like to talk about microtransactions. With FIFA, with Madden, they love to. It's actually everybody's favorite part of the game. You know, when they're just like shoot, I always forget what they're called. The cards, you know what I mean? The legendary cards and all that. You buy these card packs.
Ultimate Team or something like that?
Yes, Ultimate Team. Thank you so much, Jones.
Hey.
Yeah, hey. So yeah, it's so fun. Like they absolutely advertise that year by year for those two games in particular and all their sports games. That's so funny that those games get away with it. I guess the way that they're implemented.
Just thinking about it, like I know people in my own life who only play FIFA or like FIFA is their dominant game, and you'd probably just have a completely different mentality about microtransactions if you're encountering them in this one instance and you really love the game versus, hey, I'm encountering them all the time in a lot of different stuff that I'm playing. So yeah, that makes some weird amount of sense.
I want to know if you think we'll see anything silly. Basically, if we'll see something like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, if we'll see something out of left field from EA this year.
Something A Way Out-esque. That worked out very well for them.
Sure,
so
yeah.
And it's weird every time they... What's the name of their division?
I think it's EA Original. Oh, I got to check that. I'll check
Sure,
that.
whatever that is, it's interesting that they show up with that at their every press conference and only have one game to tout, from that service. And so I wouldn't be surprised. The thing that's weird is we did know that that team was working on that. We did get the weird shot of them in the train And we're like, all right, a game with 2 guys in it looks cool. And we just didn't know that, like, oh, it's specifically a co-op focused thing, and they're breaking out of prison, and we got all the details later.
Yeah.
And so we don't really,
had a great
we
premiere,
can't really
yeah.
point a finger at what it might be going in. So that kind of makes
love
me
that.
that
Yes.
kind of makes me nervous. Well, it makes me nervous that they don't have anything ready. If we don't even have a developer that's kind of rumored to be working with EA.
Sure.
If we're looking from the perspective of, hey, we're EA and we've been taking some beatings lately and we want some easy feel-good announcements, do you go like the Burnout Paradise route? Do you announce more remasters coming out soon?
Oh, good point, Ben. Yeah, I do wonder how well Burnout Paradise Remastered went. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked on this podcast. That was their first ever remaster.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question, because I wonder if like people want Mass Effect Remastered. People want that. It'd be good to announce it at E3, that kind of thing. I think that would make people happy. They are called EA Originals, by the way. Cool. I do expect to see, I would guess 2. I think they're going to go for 2 of those this year, because they paid attention. I think they paid attention. I think they know A Way Out was a huge surprise and a positive sentiment coming out of their press conference last year. I think they should double down, and I think they will. I can see them doing 2. I mean, there's a huge difference between FIA. Between FIA and A Way Out, budget-wise. Like, A Way Out is almost like AAA. That's a big budget indie game. I don't know if they have many of those, but they got to have another FIA, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
2. I think 2 is a good bet that they would have 2 EA originals.
Could one of those be a follow-up to an earlier EA original?
We don't have many, so what do we have?
Like, would you have Unravel 2?
Yes, right. I think that's it. I think that's Unraveled, Way Out, and FIA. I think that's the only EA original so far.
I don't think FIA's getting a sequel. Follow-up.
Brutal.
But wasn't FIA at Xbox? The Xbox conference? Was that at EA last year? And Unravel definitely was not at EA. That was at Sony.
What?
No.
Jones, these are weird memories.
No.
So
Unraveled was at EA.
Oh, that was at EA? Okay.
Yeah, so...
Sorry. You're right.
You're thinking like it's like 3 years in the past. So first was Unravel. The year after that was FIA.
Okay.
And then the year after that was A Way Out.
Got it. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, FIA did appear in like the Nintendo Direct this year.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
It's all.
Because it was the mini direct. Because it was part of the league.
Yep. It was a mini direct. Yeah. I mean, closing up, I'm still excited to see this press conference. I realized going through this how I'm less excited than I thought I was. Just the way we talk about it, the way that we talk about the way that EA presents itself. It's so strange. It's so strange they just can't get this together to me.
Yeah. On an optimistic note, I guess for me, the thing that is kind of hooking me into really excited is the wrong word, but curious about watching the EA press conference is I want to see the route they take with Anthem.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
I'm hoping that the wild card factor we've kind of been alluding to is that, they, as you said, they kind of take a beating over the last year. Maybe, I don't want to say they're desperate or anything like that, but maybe they've been pushed a little bit more to bring something that's a little bit more creative or a little bit more innovative or a little bit more exciting that we haven't known about. At least because it hasn't leaked or anything like that, which is good.
Yeah.
So I have hope that they will pull something out of the rabbit's hat and the rabbit out of the hat and be like, here you go, everyone. You didn't know this was coming. I'll be like, good job, EA. Thank you.
A little golf clap.
And then maybe Anthem turns out to be like, hey, here's the hook to Anthem. It's actually going to be good. All right, that's good.
Anthem could be mind-blowing. That Star Wars game could see gameplay, and I would be just bonkers excited. And Battlefield 5 could be really, really incredible. Like it's not like these things are guaranteed to be weird. It's just they're a weird company that makes weird press conferences. And furthermore, in all the other press conferences we're talking about, when you go back to previous years, it's like, yeah, they did this one weird thing this year, and then they changed that the next year. Specifically, Sony is like really kind of back and forth, up and down with their press conferences.
Yeah.
And EA is just like, we're back, another one. Like it's just kind of the same show every year. Yeah, especially being EA Play, same venue.
Yeah. And Jones, you know what I would think they would say? Like the director's like, no, we came out with a marching band last year. Do you not remember that? It's like, yeah.
All those stormtroopers were on stage.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I forgot until you said it.
Yeah, it's tough. I want to make a wild prediction. I think that EA will present
The Sims. Sorry.
a game that's like Pokemon.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's my wild prediction.
All right.
I think they got a
Out there.
game like Pokemon that they're going to present.
Oh, okay.
Traditional Pokemon or Pokemon Go?
I think more inspired by Pokemon Go.
Oh.
Little monsters.
Little monsters.
The rascals in your pocket.
I'm sorry, do you all hear that? It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
It's the Little Rascals for a second. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of May. El Fanis, Simon Anderson, iKeyless. iKeyless.com is proud to sponsor Easy Allies. If you need a replacement car key or remote, use offer code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and 30% off of your order. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure currently in development at Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Mango. Unique to me design. Looking for a gift for that special someone they will treasure for a lifetime? Or maybe a little something that says, I care. With rings and bracelets, necklaces, and more, Unique to Me design is a wide range of custom-made jewelry for all tastes. Enter the coupon code ALLIES25 for 25% off of your order. That's etsy.com/shop/unique to me design. And our mega sponsors. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. And now, that good business lawyer has a YouTube channel, one with at least one video, which Ian Hink has called really well written and Kyle Bossman has called easily shareable. Check it out at youtube.com/HOEG Law. Blue. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Who got the subs?
He did.
Nice.
Proud.
What was happening earlier is that, you can't change your YouTube name until you have 100 subs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Great. It is now time to talk about the Microsoft press conference, which will be the next press conference of E3. This happens Sunday, June 10th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Pacific time. Let's start with that same point. What do you think the vibe, what do you think the theme, what do you think the feel of this press conference will be?
Games that you get exclusive stuff by playing on Xbox One or Microsoft platforms.
You get exclusive stuff by playing it, or like you will have exclusive content that
pushing Xbox One X Advantage, pushing maybe they will have some timed exclusives, or just like pushing back a little bit how like Sony's kind of been like dominating that for a little while, and they've been like snagging up like play it first on like PlayStation 4 blah blah. I think the biggest one they got was Tomb Raider, the second Tomb Raider, right? Was Microsoft's biggest
for
snag?
a year.
For a year.
Yeah.
I think you might see maybe not as long of a window as that, but getting some pretty big stuff. Like seeing some games that you might not expect to be at Microsoft's press conference.
Yes.
And pushing some games that will be multi-platform pretty hard because they get those exclusive marketing rights deals.
Like Battlefield.
Yeah,
they
for that,
Battlefields,
where they're going to go big on there to make you think that illusion that this is a big deal on Microsoft. Even though it's on other platforms, they wave their hand like, no, it's Xbox is the important version. You want to like just focus on this.
They had spent a lot of time with Origins last year, didn't they? I wonder if we'll get like Skull and Bones or something this year. Something else from Ubisoft.
I have a theory, Jones.
Running super pretty on Xbox
Splinter
One X.
Cell.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think they're going to debut Splinter Cell.
Of course.
Yeah, I really do. And they're going to show it up running on Xbox One.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And I think that's probably near the beginning of the press conference.
But stealing that announcement from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to show off Origins for the first time last year, which it would have been the announcement if Origins didn't leak 1,000 times.
That's right.
What's funny is it's funny to think back at last year's press conference because they had people wearing shirts that said, I just witnessed the most powerful console of all time. Like Damiani, I can't see them pressing it that hard again. I can't see them wearing the t-shirts again this year.
I don't think. Let me clarify a little bit. I don't think they need to say it so much as show it.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
It's gonna be running on Xbox One X. They'll just say everything you see here is running on Xbox One X hardware.
Yep.
That's all they need to say. And they might say like, look at the beautiful 4K HDR once or twice, but the visuals will speak for themselves.
Sure. What's up, John?
Well, they opened the press conference last year, remember, with the aspect ratio getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then 4K.
Yeah, man.
Look where we're at. Yeah, so they definitely won't do that.
Because I think they opened just talking about Xbox One for a while.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean they can't do that again this year. What?
That's right. I mean, I think that will definitely tout the expanded backwards compatibility that they've been focused on.
I wonder if a big slew of new titles.
The upgrade. I bet they take a shot at either Sony or Nintendo about how you can bring your games back from previous generations, have them running on Xbox One or Xbox One X, and be enhanced as well. They charge you for an HD collection, $30, where you can take this game for free
that you already own.
Own, and look how much better it looks on it. They got to push that. That is a selling point.
I mean, they have pushed it. Last year was the announcement of the original Xbox games. They're kind of out of the good ones. I think that announcement doesn't work every year in a row.
It's not an announcement. I say they just tout it in their little bullet points of what we've done well over the last year. That definitely needs to be mentioned. That hey, look what we did in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the correct positioning would be to kind of have that as a snowball effect, where you get out there, you announce a bunch of exciting stuff. I think Splinter Cell is a really good example. You quickly say, hey, today we're here to talk about the games. You have really well presented trailers. You have exciting stuff. You have big things, and then just the icing on top of it, you're like, hey, here's all this cool stuff that we're doing. Remind you of it, and then keep moving on into more big games.
Yeah. I expect Game Pass to be heavily emphasized the same way, probably the same point of the press conference.
Well, the Game Pass thing is interesting because what if you just tuck that in at the end of a lot of the announcements, like, hey, check out this cool new thing we're doing. You can get that with Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need to separate it into its own talk.
Right, and I mean, we'll talk about Crackdown 3 next. That'll obviously be for Crackdown 3, but if they can say that after Splinter Cell, that would be huge.
Right.
If they can say that after a huge third-party exclusive, I think that would be enormous.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 is the game I've written down. I mean, this and Ori and the Will of the Wisps are the two games that have been announced that still aren't out yet. They're the two games we know of. Can Crackdown 3 really show well at a press conference at this point?
That's a great question.
Sure.
How? What do I do?
But the fun. You just what Ben wants to see from Anthem. Show me a really fun game. Show me people legitimately having a good time.
Yeah.
And I think they've actually done that. I thought Sea of Thieves played really well when they let streamers come together and goof off and do things wrong.
Yes.
I would love to see somebody screw up in Crackdown, die, crash a
building
car
down
that
on their
blows
friends.
up and they take out a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Or
dude.
they're about to get some really sweet move in a multiplayer co-op mission or something, and then somebody just rockets them and blows the car up. And yeah, it would be great to just see it off the rails and just see a really goofy gameplay demo, because I think it would, the more they amp up the importance of Crackdown, the more everybody's going to kind of roll their eyes and be like, if it's that important, if it's that big of a deal, yeah. But I think it could still be. I'd love those first two games, even two. I had a lot of fun with that because I didn't take it too seriously and I just goofed off when I was running around that world.
It didn't want you to goof off. It had zombies all over. It didn't want you to have fun.
Those were the worst parts of the game, is when they were like, no, we really got to take out this hive because the city's going to be destroyed. I don't care about this city.
Exactly, yeah.
I want to destroy this city. I want to level this city.
And I think that's the
I want
angle,
all that neon to be in piles of rubble at the end of this play session.
Yeah.
And so, if they
I think Crackdown 3 simply can't be their biggest exclusive, though. I think they have to show an exclusive bigger than that.
Oh, bigger.
During this press conference.
They're definitely going to have, from the leaks and stuff, the Forza.
Yes.
Will be there.
Forza Horizons 5.
Forza Horizon, I guess
4.
Asia somewhere. It looked like Hong Kong or something.
Oh, you're talking about the concept art?
Yeah, the concept art.
I don't know if we can trust the concept art.
I mean, it's between. It's either UK, it's London, or it's China, I guess, or Asia region. But either one, I mean, that's kind of what you expect. But Forza will be there. Trying to think of what other ones.
Gears of War was also there. Gears of War 5 was on that list.
I know we just passed over it, but shoot Ori to the moon. That game deserves all the love.
Yeah.
That's probably number one on my list.
Was it last year there was a live piano being played during that demo?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was great. I think that was really, really nice.
Was it a demo?
Sorry, it was a trailer.
I think we'll just get another trailer. I doubt
right,
an extended gaplay demo is something. They'll probably just want to show a bunch of different stuff from it. So
just play that game.
Yeah, play that game.
We'll see if Thieves be mentioned. Some kind of expansion thing.
Oh, so
do you think?
They
really?
announced the expansion, I thought, or first content update, right?
Yeah, that's coming next week.
Yeah. Oh, that might be too soon. So maybe the next big one, what to look forward to, part of their roadmap.
Yeah.
You mentioned Gears 5, right?
Yes. I think that can show huge.
Oh yeah. Get me excited about that. That's the one. Even more than Halo. Gears feels to me like the one that I need the most selling on to get interesting, because the last one I couldn't have been more disinterested. But at least the other Gears games, I recognized they were a big deal. I felt good about them coming out. The last one, I just didn't get behind it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So Phoenix Jr. is running in a cave, right?
Okay.
He's like shouting. He's like taking shots. And then a Brumac picks him up, bites him. Done. Just he bit off half of Phoenix Jr. He just tosses him aside. Then, like some sort of Gears ninja shows up and cuts off the Brumac's head.
What?
This is a game where you have a samurai sword.
All right.
Gears 5.
Okay, Kyle. I see what you're doing there, playing to my revengeance.
Yes.
And at the end of the trailer, the sword turns into a gun.
Yes. And it's called Gears of Nature.
Gears of Nature.
Yes.
No campaign, just multiplayer.
Yeah.
The
That's just
only
multiplayer.
word spoken throughout the entire trailer, nanomachines.
All right, now I am, and for that reason, I'm now.
But I think Halo and Gears are kind of in the same spot where like the three of both of those franchises was so heavy and so final that like everything I feel that they've done since has kind of been like, oh yeah, and this now.
Yeah.
And then, okay, that was fun. Okay, yeah, now this now. And it's like, do we have any direction here? You know, it's like, I think that was one of my issues with Gears 4 where it's like, okay, that was fun, but now what? Where are we going with this? It wasn't a game where I finished and I was like, oh, Gears 5 is going to be nuts. It was like, I have no idea where you could continue this now, what the next threat would be or what, you know, there was no cliffhanger really at the end of that experience. And so,
Really?
Oh, Kyle.
Ben, is that true? Gears 4 has no cliffhanger?
No.
I'm just surprised because all games have cliffhangers now.
Yeah, I mean, to say that there was absolutely no direction, I feel like there's stuff that they established right at the end where it's like, okay, now we have to resolve this. With the central characters of the game, like, there was an interaction you had. I forget the names of the characters, but like
Phoenix Jr.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, no, the mother of the person. No, I think there's definitely a thread there. I cannot elaborate in great detail what the thread is,
Right.
but no, there definitely felt like there needed to be more that had to be resolved. So I don't know. I don't buy that completely.
Sometimes I still see like a Gears tattoo. I want Gears 5 to be the game that makes that person happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want it to be just like gross and like just like there's just evisceration and just heavy and like just an attitude that is I don't know, just all in. I want that person to feel proud about the tattoo again.
Yeah, it used to be.
I wasn't articulate there. Yes, Gears used to be a big deal. I want that game to look like a big deal.
So I would love to see that because I feel like things are better when Microsoft has all these strong exclusive offerings, and Gears still going and being a big thing would help them. I want to ask about like Halo because I'm like we obviously talked about the arcade.
It's worth
thing.
talking about Halo.
But,
It
like Halo.
absolutely
So where is I'm curious because where is Halo at? Every time I see Halo brought up, it's usually people complaining about the failed job of the Master Chief Collection,
which they're still working on.
which is
making
still
progress.
working on. So
Yes.
will we get like any kind of
Yes.
here's the solution? Like it's done. We fixed it. Here it comes. It's regarding online, right?
Master Chief
Yeah.
Collection will be brought up
Like
for sure. I bet.
Master Chief
That's a
Collection
safe bet.
Definitive Edition. And where is Halo going next? Like they're not abandoning Halo, right? Like
no.
it has to. Like when are we getting the next
When,
Halo reveal?
When you talk about Halo and Gears of War side by side, I think something for me, and I'm curious if the sentiment is shared by others, that might be coming, like what you were trying to say, is I think in Halo, kind of figuring out exactly what the Covenant were, what their motivations were, why they were doing things, and then resolving that was a big part of it. I think the same is true of the Locust in the Gears of War trilogy, and then, by 3, you kind of figured a lot out and you resolved that arc. You don't really, I think everything that they've introduced in Halo and Gears of War since, like, it's like they're still kind of hanging on to that, but the mystery isn't really there. And they need
the
some
mystery. There you go.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to
think
say.
They need some sort of threat, and I feel like they're kind of they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, where it's like they're trying to repackage what was already there, or they're trying to include some new stuff, but that new stuff either feels really familiar or it's kind of the new stuff with the old stuff, and it's just that big like, oh my god, like these guys are messed up. This feels like the first time the Locust came out of the ground. What is this? Who are these things?
Yeah.
Like you need that kind of moment where it needs to be as surprising as like those holes were initially.
I got a question,
Thank you, Ben.
Chance.
You articulated that much.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
I think, obviously, there were story threads from 4. I just think it's not as marketable as the obvious threads from, like, 2 going into a 3. We were like, oh, my God. Even 3 going into a 4 was like, where are they now? Whoa. There was, like, mystery. I think you nailed it with that.
I got a question, though. We just had a huge reveal last week of a game that dropped its campaign. Should Halo lean on its campaign? Should Gears really lean on its campaign? It's a multiplayer world now, baby. Is that really necessary?
I feel like of those, Halo, none of them technically need a campaign in this day and age, but I feel like I would be a bit less inclined, I'd be less interested in next Halo if it didn't have a campaign, because as you were I don't know, like you were saying, the mystery, like it sounded like all story stuff. Mm-hmm. I would like to see the story come back and grip me again, because after Halo 5, I was just like, you gotta try, like this isn't going well.
Wait, just to clarify, you said you'd be more interested if it didn't have a campaign at all?
No, if it did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was arguing that, like, I think they could technically get away with not doing one in this day and age, because I think,
and it's safer not to. Your reviews will be better.
You'll still get backlash. For Halo, you'll still get backlash. Like, I would not be complete. It's not unexpected of them to do it. I hope they don't do it. I really don't think they'll do it. And for me, I need them to have a single player campaign.
I would be heartbroken.
Or even co-op campaign, like a multiplayer, or not multiplayer, co-op campaign. Co-op campaign through the next Halo would actually be pretty cool.
They had 4-person co-op campaign through 5.
No, I know, but done well.
The thing
like,
is,
it was
Kyle,
a good story.
Like you saying it's a good idea. With Call of Duty, there are people who really like Call of Duty campaigns. I'm not saying that there isn't, but Call of Duty has not invested in its world and its lore in the way that Halo has. Not even close. Like, they don't have, like, fictional podcasts where you're this reporter who's, like, uncovering this in greater detail the mysteries of Halo. You don't have movies or TV, like... You cannot just drop the story in Halo when you have put this much into it. It doesn't make any sense.
And that argument is why it was so funny when they were talking about the characters you can be in Battle Royale. It's because, like, these guys don't matter.
Right.
But I do, on the other side, I feel like if you're a writer coming into a new Halo game, you have so much baggage. You have so much stuff that right now you have to deal with. You got to deal with Cortana. You got to deal with this new guy, Locke. You got to deal with Master Chief. I got to put these elites in there somehow or else it won't look cool. It's just like now I have to deal with, what are they called? The Forerunners? I got to deal with Forerunner stuff. Like I have so many things I have to deal with. It's like writing episode 9. It's like, what am I going to do with all this?
But... here's my argument against that they could still pull it off.
Yeah.
Is like, yes, you have all of this stuff, but you also still have Master Chief. Like,
which is a big advantage, you mean?
Right,
yes,
right. I'm saying like you have a character that people still really care about. Mm-hmm. You can I think you can pare it back where you have all this stuff going on, but you have a focus. You make this character interesting. You make them go through some new trials and tribulations that they haven't been through yet. Like, as long as you still have that character or things that character has touched, and you can make that feel familiar and interesting in new ways, I think you can still do it.
This set far enough away from the last game, and they give it the God of War treatment. Give it a different angle. Give it a different perspective for Master Chief. Like, it still feels like, I'm sorry, like literally copying what God of War just did, but
yeah. Give it the God of War treatment.
Give it the God of War treatment.
Can you imagine, like, this little tiny Spartan that, like, walks out in the trailer, he's like, and Master Chief just goes...
just with the plasma pistol.
Boy. And they never take the helmet off. It's like a little child with the helmet the whole time. Boy.
Damiani crossed his arms and said, "Sell me like you sold me. You sold me."
This is pretty good. Like, let's do this.
What if it's a third-person Halo game? Like, that would be nuts. Like, that kind of shift you're talking about when you say God of War treatment? Like, just rethink it completely? Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd get people talking.
Some
we just
level
want
of
tweets.
I think they could do some level of that radical of a tonal shift, basically, in Halo. Not completely abandoning their rich history with their rich lore, still kind of like paying tribute to it, kind of giving nods here and there. But I think there is a way to do that and also kind of space themselves out from a little bit of, like, so many of the threads they've been attached to for so long. Excuse me, because I'm trying to say avoid doing a reboot of any kind, but, like, basically start a little bit fresh. Try and do something that is new, feels good, and you don't have to feel you get rewards if you've been invested in the previous games, but you can come in as a newcomer and be this is pretty good. I'm invested in that, which I feel like that was what God of War was to a lot of people. Newcomers come in, oh, it's not like these old God of War games are off-putting to me. I like this. Veterans, this is great. I get to see such a dramatic change in Kratos and the world he occupies.
Is the Didact still alive?
Didact.
Is he still like the bad guy of like the new games?
No. Wait.
I mean, consult my Halo lore podcast.
There was
Yeah, please.
Kyle, there was a point in time where like I had it all sorted. Like the lines all crossed for me with Halo lore. At least like on a somewhat
Sorry to
reasonable
interrupt,
level.
because what I'm thinking of when Damiani just says like it's. I think it's okay to drop the Didact. You know, I think it's okay to like go forward some years. Like I know that there are some threads where they want to pick up like a year later off of Halo 5, but they don't have to. I think and people wouldn't be disappointed. I get that.
Well, this isn't maybe a perfect comparison, but I think about the Halo 2 to Halo 3.
Sure.
Okay? I remember playing through Halo 2, and they introduced so much, and I think most of it was poorly explained and unclear and just kind of sloppy.
Oh, story-wise.
Yes.
Got you.
In Halo...
Oh, like the tree, Gravemind?
Oh, yes.
Was that introduced
yes,
into?
and Gravemind was introduced into.
Sure.
And so, like, it was kind of a mess, and I remember walking out of that game being like, I don't have a clear understanding of what went on. By the time I got to Halo 3, they didn't drop any of that stuff. They just were like, okay, we're not going to have you switch between these two characters anymore, but we're still going to have the Arbiter presence. It's just like they cleaned it up. They had like kind of a nice story between Master Chief and Cortana, and they brought all of that in, and I think they clarified it and made it more interesting, and they had a successful end to a trilogy. Like, I think they can still do that here.
Sure. Best of luck to him.
The Didact is not alive.
Okay.
That was resolved in
Okay.
Halo 4.
Great.
Yeah.
Bye, Didact.
It's been a while.
As Damiani started this with, I expect to see some third-party games emphasized heavily. I expect to see like more Battlefield. I expect to see what else? Oh, Shadow of the Tomb Raider will probably be there. More Anthem will probably be in the Microsoft press conference.
I've been going back and forth about Kingdom Hearts because it is on.
I was about to get there. I think Kingdom Hearts.
Will they do it before the Square Enix thing though on Monday?
Yep.
Just because there's been a little bit of criticism about the Japanese developer presence on Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean,
this would be a huge play, like the best version on Xbox One X or something for Kingdom Hearts. Be like, oh my gosh, what weird Twilight Zone is this?
I can see it. And you remember they had the Final Fantasy 15 live demo for Xbox?
And remember when they announced 13, like back in 360 days?
Yeah.
There's a history there.
I can easily see Kingdom Hearts having a strong presence during this press conference. And I think it would say a lot about their platform. And so, I think
they might give like an exclusive world reveal to Sony and to Microsoft or something. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, in the story trailer during the Square Enix. Okay, I like that. Everybody gets some. There's been whisperings. I think it's unfeasible, but maybe of Cyberpunk 2077 happening this year.
Yeah.
I think if it were to happen, it would happen during the Xbox press conference.
On Xbox One X. Definitely would be showing it off on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that happening? Do you see that happening this year?
Oh, yeah. I see that happening.
Man, what a win that would be.
That'd be a big win.
If Microsoft could get that at their conference exclusively, like other than CyberConnect, CD Projekt Red, showing it off wherever they want to show it off behind closed doors, that would be huge. That could be something big enough for them to... That could be like their anthem of this year, like what they wrap up on.
Yeah, well, actually, they wrapped up on Metro Exodus last year.
They wrapped up,
which I don't think was a great wrap-up game, to be honest with you. Like,
you should have wrapped up with Anthem, but it's the big finale. Basically, is the first like world premiere of Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay running on Xbox One X. It'd be like, okay, buckle up, here we go. This is huge. This is a big deal.
We're treating you right now. We're no longer boring you.
This is probably not happening.
We're giving you a treat.
This is probably not happening though. This makes me sad now, because I want to see this, but now it's not going to happen.
Ben, did you look up what happened to the Didact?
Yeah, that was correct.
Didact is dead.
Okay.
That was my the Didact is dead. That is resolved. I'm still kind of hung up on it because you brought up a lot of feelings that I haven't felt in a while about like how mad the Didact made me. Like that character. Like, if you read into the whole history of that character, there's some interesting things, but the way they present it, like, they botched it so hard. It's awful.
Okay.
Take that helmet off. That'd be
Master Chief.
That'd be a cool trailer.
That's the end. He goes, boy.
Yeah.
They've done that kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Jones are kind of like over my dead body, but also like that's what you need people to tweet. Like if you want people excited, people get mad. Like yeah, take that helmet off. He's not wearing it the whole game. It's gone.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he takes that helmet off for the whole
Yeah,
game.
you play the whole game with Master Chief without a helmet. There
Yes.
you go. That's like a huge deal.
That would be a huge
Play
deal.
my
as
gosh.
the helmet.
Yeah.
He plays
The helmet is the kid.
Yeah, I truly believe that though. Like
He talks to it like Wilson from Castaway.
yeah, because just like hey, and we have this character Locke. Isn't this exciting? Like that was never exciting. That was never just like I got to tweet about this. I'm mad or I'm super happy. It was just never at that level. It's like oh, okay. You know, it's always just been that. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, I think about Halo Reach and why Halo Reach was such an effective story for me. And because I feel like with Halo Reach, they emphasized the situation more than they emphasized the characters. Like, it was, hey, look at these people going through these situations and what they have to deal with. Like, I can envision a new Halo trailer being really interesting, even if it's people we don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, we just see them going through things that make us connect with them. Like, they're not just like, hey, here's this super convoluted story, now we're throwing new characters in here. Like, let's focus on the battle itself, I
like
guess. Yeah.
I like that very much. Last year, this is one other thing that was kind of introduced was Super Lucky's Tale for like as an Xbox like slash PC exclusive, which was so weird. Lucky's Tale is a Oculus exclusive, and it based like Super Lucky Tale was like clearly began its life as like an Oculus game. But anyway, do you expect to see some sort of left field family game this year out of Xbox? I do.
Viva Pinata.
Yeah, I mean, I probably
What
Viva
is
Pinata
Rare
would be
working
sick.
on? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rare's working on Sea of Thieves.
I've read recently that Rare is becoming this new IP
Oh yeah,
studio,
Sure.
and so if they have something totally brand new, I mean, that would be out of the left field
yeah.
thing, potentially the family game thing that you're asking for.
I was just jabbing at them because they were making like family-friendly games for such a long time.
Oh,
Like,
I got you.
Connectimals and the Grab by Ghoulies and
Connectimals is not Rare.
not Connectimals. What was the other one?
I mean, they have a bunch of Connect
Are you
Sports.
thinking of Viva Pinata?
Yeah, Viva and Pinata. Thank you. Jeez, I'm stupid. And yeah, Nuts and Bolts and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, personally, I just wanted to see them do something new with Battletoads. Or
Yeah.
Conquer.
Yeah. I mean, Battletoads.
Well,
That's not new IP,
so
but...
sick. No, I mean,
What the heck was Conquer just in or something as a cameo?
Oh, that was the
Game creator thing, yeah.
Project Spark. Yes. But even after that was the augmented reality Conquer that looks skinny and weird. Have you seen that thing?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I forget what the AR goggles for that Microsoft made were called, but they had software for it that had like a little freaky version of Conquer.
What the hell was that tech called?
Isn't it funny, dude?
Ugh.
Because here's the thing: is that
Minecraft looks so cool.
these things get touted. These things get touted at press conferences. And yeah, Jones, they showed it like walking around, like looking at Minecraft and playing Minecraft as if this is a thing that we would all be doing soon. And it totally wasn't. You know, it's just totally like, let's just show a cool thing at our press conference. It's not like Lens or something, is it?
HoloLens?
HoloLens. There you go. You got it.
Nice. What's wrong? What's up?
Because we were talking about. It got at me thinking about things they could dig up from the past. Because they have some like IPs that they're sitting on they own. Because we're talking about Rare.
Yeah.
Is there any chance they take another crack at Perfect Dark?
Absolutely, dude. Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Boy, that could potentially be a super exciting announcement.
Yes. I think that'd be really cool.
Okay. Because they did the obviously Zero, and then they made HD. What was the last thing they did? Did that go
They
over
released
well?
it on Xbox Live
Did that actually go over well? I forget.
I think
Yeah,
it
that
went
was
over
slick.
fine.
Yeah.
It didn't explode.
Yeah.
No.
I guess it was like, was the quality there, and it was it pretty popular for a while to warrant, hey, maybe we should revisit this. He was sitting on it.
highly
but
doubt
who would
that
make
that
it? 'Cause
series is
I don't
coming
think
back.
Rare
For,
would be
for
making
what
it.
it was, I think the reception was generally positive.
Who would make it though? That's my question.
Damiani, I've seen rumors, and obviously, like the rumors that I believe, I put on the podcast, and the ones that I'm pretty sure aren't real, I don't. But rumors that the Coalition was helping with Perfect Dark, and like I could see it. Like I just bring it up because, like hypothetically, I could see that making sense. That the Coalition working on Gears, but also helping out with Perfect Dark. I could see it. I could see it.
Perfect Dark coming back.
I love
Yep. I think the trailer would need a joke. I think it needs a hint of humor.
Who's the AI? Jarvis?
Elvis.
No, it's not Jarvis. Elvis.
And he's an alien. Elvis is an alien.
I think there are a lot of good comedic routes you could go with it.
Yeah. Because I think Perfect Dark Zero seemed really serious and stupid.
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of.
The way they advertised it, I mean.
Sure.
In marketing.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's, like, playing through Perfect Dark Zero, there's a lot of lightheartedness about it.
Oh, that's funny.
Did they do any? Never mind.
I just remember.
Sorry.
I remember the first night with the Xbox 360, and just like we just stared at the wall, the texture on the wall. My dad had an HD TV, and I'd like never seen anything HD on it. And so we plugged that baby in and stared at the walls of Perfect Dark Zero.
I think Perfect Dark Zero might have been the first HD game I played.
Yeah, man, that was fun.
Everything go back and look at that game now, just how like shiny everything is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just gooey and wet.
Yes.
That was a wet wall. I need some of that in the new Perfect Dark game.
Good stuff. I think we could do another Banjo-Kazooie. Never gonna happen. I know everyone's over at Playtonic or the ukulele team.
Yeah, I can't see it happening,
there,
dude.
yeah.
I don't know.
And there's no chance they would ever be like, hey, good attempt on ukulele. How would you like to come back and have a crack at Banjo-Kazooie again?
Oh, Playtonic, I think, would take the opportunity.
Oh, you think so?
I do. I just don't. I don't think
that
Microsoft.
David Wise on banjo music.
I don't think David Wise ever did Banjo-Kazooie.
No, I know, but like,
yeah,
they would. I mean, they had that relationship there.
that's Kirk Hope's thing. Let him have it.
Okay, let's get both of them. Let's get all of them on it.
Okay,
Right?
let's get them all on it.
Get everyone
Get on
together.
Banjo. Everybody get together on Banjo.
This needs to be huge, Kyle. Like
Yes.
big dream team.
The funniest thing is you would have to go back to the original designs. You had your like weird boxy remake. You'd have to like kill that and go back to smooth around Banjo.
Okay.
You'd have to. There's no other way to
Like
make a new
really good,
Banjo-Kazooie
like
game.
fur, like next. Like,
Yeah,
good
maybe
looking
just some
fur.
next gen fur.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that.
I'll buy that. All right, we're done talking about Microsoft. I do really look forward to that press. No, I mean we should do final thoughts. What's it going to take to make that good, Jones? What is the best ideal Microsoft press conference in your eyes?
Oh man, I don't know. We just talked about 500 things.
Yeah. What do they need to focus on?
To me, one thing that we haven't really talked about is a good shadow drop of some fun backwards compatibility.
Okay.
Going back and showing some fun stuff that's now playable on system and is playable now. That you can just go and boot up your Xbox when you get home. That would excite me. And not just getting a 3 green light teaser thing for Splinter Cell, but actually seeing gameplay of that. Actually, ending that press conference or starting it with a big demo. I think would be the best way to do that. Because I just think when you say Perfect Dark to me, that's an old franchise. That franchise to me does not seem modern, which is hilarious because it's set in the future. And so I would be very surprised if we got something like if you were to bring back Perfect Dark, you would have to really, really impress me with that demo. That name alone is not going to get me excited because I know that like the team that worked on Zero was not the team that worked on the original, and neither one of those teams is going to be the team that works on this. And so I think there could be cool announcements, but like especially with the power of that system, I really need to see some really dynamite demos. If they had a cool showing off a cool Ubisoft game like they did last year, if they have maybe something other than along with Splinter Cell, and if we could see a little bit more of Anthem running, maybe a cool demo that they didn't show at EA day before.
Yeah, Ben, I don't want to talk about games specifically because that's kind of out of their control, right? Like they can't choose they can choose, but they can't. The people running this press conference don't get to to make the decisions about which games are being made. Like, what would you say to the director of this press conference? How to make a good one?
Honestly, this is so general, but I think it's true because what was exciting about this conversation is it felt like there were so many avenues they could go that felt at least somewhat realistic, like based in some sort of logic. And I think taking all of that and combining it and summing it up, what I would want to leave a viewer is like, man, I'm really excited about what I get to play on my Xbox in the next 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
Old, new, unexpected, expected, but exceeded expectations. Like, that's what I want from Microsoft is, man, the next 12 months for me as an Xbox owner are going to be packed. And it's going to be wildly different throughout that 12 months.
Yeah, Damiani, you're sitting down with the director. What are you saying?
I would tell them, you need to, by the end of this press conference, convince someone like Michael Damiani, who thinks at times that Microsoft is going to stop making consoles and gets always down on Microsoft.
I've heard him say this, yeah.
You need to convince them by the end of this that, holy crap, go out and buy an Xbox One right now. Like, I don't have one.
Yeah.
Damiani, you're an idiot. Go buy one right now, because look at all this crap you've got coming. You can't control it, but like, make it look good. Make it look like you're playing it on the best version on here, and just have fun with it. Yeah. Like, they don't need to harp on, like I keep saying, like, push it's the best version.
Yeah.
It's show it through visuals. Yes. Don't harp on technical stuff. Stay away from that crap. Just show everything just looking like gorgeous and beautiful, and just make everything you have look the best it can be, and be like, why didn't you have this yet? Why
did you have this?
Why don't you have an Xbox One yet, dude? Why are you saying that we're gonna stop making consoles? Look at all the stuff we got announced. Come on.
You know what's funny is, well, I mean, we'll talk about Sony, and I meant to wrap this up, but it just occurred to me while you were talking about it.
I got one more thing too.
Okay, great. Is that I love E3 conversations. Basically, the market, the people watching, the audience of this press conference, I think they should sell the One X too. They're selling more ones than One X's, right? Mm-hmm. But of the people watching this press conference, I think that's the sale to make. If you haven't bought an Xbox One yet, I think you are still more inclined to buy a One X at this point. If you're there, we are nearing the end of this generational cycle, right? And the PS4 has outsold the Xbox almost 2-1, right? And so it's weird to me to try to make that argument that Damiani's like crossing his arms, say, sell me now. Like, if they haven't sold you yet, if they're this far in, if they're 6 years into the Xbox One's life, like, what will it take? And I think it is the One X. I think that's the only like new aspect they have to sell you on. And I guess really, they should press that. Johns, what your final thought?
Nintendo.
What?
Some crazy synergy with Nintendo.
Okay.
That got a lot. I know it seems bizarre, but like that, seeing the Switch playing Minecraft was weird and a lot of people talked about that and even like joked about it. And I wonder if Microsoft is like, well, that wasn't that hard, that these are things already being developed.
Yeah.
And so if there was some crazy multi-platform game that they specifically said there's going to be functionality, if you have a friend who's got a Switch and you got an Xbox One, that you're going to be able to play this game together, and there's going to be something that you're going to be able to do cross-platform with those two games that you would not be able to do.
Fortnite would be an easy
along
one.
with PC. Oh man, or Fortnite coming to Switch would be super fun. But something like that. Some crazy thing that again is not a new. It's regarding a game we already know, or something that was announced previously that week or earlier in their press conference. And by the way, this game is also coming to Switch, and you'll be able to play both of those things.
Heck yeah, dude.
Take that, Sony. I just think they love to do that.
That's what they do.
And I would not be surprised if they load that cannon and fire it.
All right, we're not done with final thoughts because Damiani's got another one. What?
And just the talk that's been going on, call it crazy. What if Banjo is going to be in Smash Brothers?
Crazy.
And Nintendo lets them, before they even show off in their own press conference, lets Microsoft unveil Banjo footage in the new Smash Brothers. Like a custom, maybe just a custom CG trailer for Banjo.
Yeah.
So it's a CG.
No
so
gameplay.
No gameplay, just CG.
Yeah.
And it's like you're seeing Mario running around like, wait, what conference is this?
Yeah.
And you see Banjo joins the fray.
Yeah.
And it just says like, tune in Monday or something, but like, it's like Microsoft, we're proud to announce that Banjo, we are lending Banjo to the Super Smash Brothers, series.
You know what? And like a Battletoad would actually be a really good Smash character too. Just.
I mean, he was a great character in Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
I mean, they could also just be like, blow it out. They have that both those and be like, also Master Chief's gonna be in Smash Brothers. There you go.
Yeah, blow it out. Put him in. I don't mind. Okay, yeah, we should stop talking about ridiculous. The Microsoft press conference. Like, E3 is huge, and we know it's going to be huge. We know that press conference is going to be huge.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not going to be. That's what's so fun is they're tripling down on E3 this year. Man, so yeah, they have something. They're planning something. I do want to talk about the NPDs because it's a monthly treat here on this podcast. We're going to be much more brief than we normally are. These are the sales numbers in the U.S. Basically sales rankings. We don't get particular numbers of sales, and the way they are ranked is by revenue. So basically multiplied by how many you sold. And so yeah, there's just always fun. The month of April, good Lord, Kyle. The month of April has just passed. Brandon Jones, what was number one? What was the best What was the game that made the most money?
Why do you always go to me for this? Because I just don't know.
That's why I like doing it. Because Damiani knows, and I think Ben has a good idea. So I like talking about you.
I don't.
Oh no, Ben either.
No,
okay,
no.
Damiani, what was it? What was number one?
God of War.
God of War.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a month ago, and my brain just
I know.
can't go back that far.
Yeah, I can't either.
That's a game that should be at number 1.
Yay.
That's good.
Yes.
Yes.
For an exclusive,
Yes.
that's great.
Oh yeah. It sold like crazy. God of War sold like crazy. We'll get into it when we talk about hardware. No, I mean we're doing a abbreviated version. Let's just do it.
I'm gonna get ready for next month. I'm gonna pay attention, and I'm gonna write it on my hand. So I'm gonna have. Wait, what was that? Oh, it's smudgy. Oh, God of War.
Yeah.
Clearly, was that game I was playing 3 or 4 weeks ago.
So what's crazy is I gotta believe helped by God of War, but not necessarily all God of War. Software for the PlayStation 4 total was higher than ever recorded by the NPDs, which started in like 1995. So this was the best April ever for software, video game software, since 1995 at least. For hardware, this is the best-selling console ever in April. The PlayStation 4.
Wow.
Send those Avengers numbers.
Yeah, getting those Avengers numbers, and like one weird other fact. Is about the God of War edition, the bundle, the 1 terabyte bundle that has like the axe on the side. It's like silver and it's got the axe. That was the best-selling hardware of the month in dollar sales. So that version, the 1 terabyte version, the bundle version, which is a Pro. Yeah, that's a PS4 Pro. That was the best-selling one. Normally, PS4 Pro is not the best-selling console of a month, but bundle it with God of War, and you got people buying, apparently, in droves. I think it's pretty cool.
This is how the world should work.
You make a good game and be rewarded for
Not
it?
just a good game, you should make a great game.
Yes.
And then, oh man, this makes me so happy.
It does. It makes me happy, too. What's up, Damiani? Rubbing your hands together?
Good. It's nice to see that for once. Also make me looking forward to that Spider-Man in September.
Yes, we're all rubbing our hands together now.
Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
I do want to say something that's interesting is that the Switch is leading hardware in unit sales. And so that's how like NPD ranks these. So most revenue is that Pro, obviously, at $400 or whatever that bundle was at. But the more Switches were still sold, which means I think they had to be pretty close. But yeah, it's just a record-breaking April for the PS4, I believe, driven by God of War.
It's crazy because I remember podcasts with this group saying like, oh, analysts are saying that consoles aren't going to be around that much longer. They're kind of tapering off. Like all of this stuff.
I remember it well.
And we could just take that, we just put it aside and be like, video games are doing great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better than ever,
Good.
baby.
Single player games are doing great. We're just fine. Close the door on your way out.
Yeah, a single player game with no microtransactions. It did have stupid pre-order incentives, so it wasn't perfect. But generally no skeeviness at all about that game. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thank you, God of War. Number 2, Far Cry 5. I expect to see it in top 10 for probably throughout the summer.
Oh.
Yeah. Jones, that game's gonna sell, baby.
Neat.
Yeah. Still best-selling game of the year. Altogether, and Ubisoft is the best-selling publisher of the year because of Far Cry 5. MLB The Show MLB 18 The Show is number 3. Can you believe that? Just sticking around MLB The Show
Baseball season.
back-to-back months.
Can I tell you what makes me really excited about Far Cry 5?
Yeah.
Far Cry 6.
What, Jones? What is this point?
Tonally, I just think there were some things amiss in Far Cry 5.
So why does that make you excited for 6?
Because it means it's definitely going to happen, and that is a franchise that they're not only I'll be like,
Oh,
oh, cool,
gotcha.
we'll make another one, but like, boy, they're probably working on it right now. They probably just immediately, all right.
I mean, they have to make all that weird DLC first.
and they were all correct.
interested in
Yes,
what
yes,
we
yes.
see.
Yeah.
There is a team.
They will
working on
support.
6
They
right
will
now, you're right.
support their
Yeah.
level editors and that the DLC that they announced.
Jones, I'll take a stab. I don't think it's 6. I think it's Far Cry something.
Oh,
Okay. 6 is you're getting high.
Far Cry X.
Yeah. Ooh, Ben. That's good.
That was just a joke.
No, that's good though.
and it's in space.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's gonna be bonkers. It's gonna
Yeah,
be fun.
MLB The Show is still selling. Apparently, it's the second best-selling exclusive title of the year. First, obviously, God of War. So like, it's so crazy to me. Sony has a baseball game. Could have been basketball. Could have been football. Could have been soccer. They chose baseball, and it continues to sell well. Why ruin a good thing? Number 4. Damiani, do you know what number 4 is?
Well, I think 5 is Tropical Freeze.
Man,
Yeah.
I wish
it
that
is.
would have.
It
Okay.
is. But there's got to be some other
That's
reason
exciting,
I'm asking you about
by the
4.
way. I just want to.
Tropical Freeze was #1 selling Switch game.
Oh, is it?
Mario Kart 8 was below it. Labo was ahead of it.
Yeah,
So
number
Labo-
4 is Labo
They count
Variety
Labo?
Kit. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Labo. All right.
Labo, number 4. And again, this is revenue. Labo is expensive.
Yeah.
So I think it helps it out a little. Wait, was this one 70 and then Robot is 80? I think that's how that works.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Robot was 21. A lot fewer people bought the Robot. But yeah, Labo Variety Kit, number 4.
You put variety in there, and parents are going to go to that one.
And it's the cheaper one. It's just like, oh,
If
there's
my
only
kid
the
doesn't like that
suit.
robot,
Yeah.
what am I going to do then?
Yeah. I think that's an easy choice, actually.
Yeah.
If anything, Robot should have been cheaper. And then Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, number 5. Keep it going. Mario Kart 8, number 6. Owns the middle of that chart.
Wow.
And again, with Donkey Kong and Mario Kart 8, as we must say, every month, digital sales are not tracked for Nintendo games with the NPDs.
There are so many people playing Tropical Freeze for the first time,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
they just get to drink it up, just slurp slurp, and
Yep.
they're like, wow,
Good stuff.
this is a good game.
Yes.
Uncomfortable.
Well, you're uncomfortable
I'm just kidding.
with the Kong.
I saw someone say today that apparently MPD might be in the near future including digital sales from Nintendo in the reports.
Hey, that would be cool. They probably want people on podcasts saying
Yeah.
and it's on number 3.
The last, I mean, unless you count Labo, the last physical Switch game I bought was Mario Kart 8. Everything
You've been
else I
downloading?
bought digitally. Yep.
Yeah, I think I only own Zelda physically right now. Yeah. What about you two? Are you buying those physical carts?
Odyssey was the last
Yeah.
one I bought.
Yeah. Like
Oh, did I?
me
No,
that game
I downloaded
now.
Odyssey.
Right.
I downloaded
I
Odyssey.
want that game right now.
Yes, exactly. I want
Yes.
it now. I want
Yep.
it now.
Yep.
And I have to say, I don't know how much has been brought up on this podcast, but I buy a lot of games on Switch. I buy a lot of games in general. I really like their new reward program. Like, I just bought Runner 3. I saved
we
10
haven't had a discussion about this.
Okay, I just want to mention it really briefly
Yeah,
because
'cause
as you buy stuff, they'll give you coins, and then when you check out, they'll just discount it right there.
Yes.
So Runner 3 normally $29.99. I got it for $20.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. It's so simple. It's so elegant. It's really easy to understand. You don't have to do extra work.
Yeah.
You're just buying games. You'll get discount on future things, and it's really nice.
It used to be annoying. You'd have to go to Club Nintendo, and they would have only certain games you could get discounts from, and be like set discounts. It'd be like, oh, you can get 20% off Mario Brothers DX on the 3DS. And so yeah, it is Ben. It's so simple.
Yes.
It is such a good value, and it's incredible. It's actually. Your move, Microsoft. Your move, Sony.
Right.
Yeah, it is actually Nintendo doing something first. That is actually really cool.
Yes. Completely agree.
What's up, Damiani?
And I just still get the emails to do the surveys.
You still do surveys, dude?
They send emails reminding me, hey, you could do a survey on this game.
You remember doing surveys for Club Nintendo, get points?
Yeah.
How crazy were those? And then you would get a little calendar at the end of the year?
Yep.
Oh, boy, I love those.
I miss that.
Number 7. Oh, boy, not having a good month. Grand Theft Auto 5. All the way down to number 7.
no.
Oh,
Dropping.
Bottom half of the top 10. That game's a failure.
When I on the podcast, I was like, so who doesn't own Grand Theft Auto 5? I got like a small sea of tweets being like, I don't own Grand Theft Auto 5.
okay. Potential customers.
It was
Amazing another
yeah,
shot.
That's totally fine if you don't know the game.
Call of Duty World War II, number 8. By the way, we didn't even talk about that in terms of Battlefield. It's like so hard to get excited about World War II when Call of Duty just did it. They got to find a completely different angle. Number 9, Super Mario Odyssey. Killing it, obviously. And then number 10, NBA 2K18. It's playoffs. I expect it to be on next month too, actually. Yeah, and so that's it. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, number 11. That's pretty interesting. Wildlands still sticking around. Yeah, cool list. Oh, Monster Hunter World still in the top 20. That's at number 14.
Nice.
Yeah. A Way Out at number 16. I think
this is a kind of list that makes me like hopeful for the future.
yeah,
like,
it's weird.
Ah,
Number 17,
shit
Yakuza
is
6,
okay.
The Song of Life. That should be way higher, actually.
wait, what? How?
17. Yakuza 6 is at 17.
You know, I mean, like, I get where you're coming from, and I agree with you, but the fact that it's in the top 20,
Okay.
like,
Let's
for a
be-
Yakuza game,
Sure.
Like, I know, we're very enthusiastic about Yakuza, but
Yeah.
like compare this to a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I want Yakuza on that wave. I want it on, the Nier Automata wave or
Yeah.
even the Neo wave.
Yeah.
And I just think they take too long to localize it.
I don't know, man. I think we're building. I think,
Okay.
and we haven't talked about it in news, but the localization of 3, 4, and 5 all coming.
Yes.
We're building it.
Okay. So
will
that
come.
when the next new, I just want, like, at some point I want a Yakuza game announced internationally.
Lucky number 7, Yakuza 7.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that because they got that whole new protagonist they're bragging about.
Let's call it Yakuza 7.
Okay.
Roman numeral 7 too.
Yeah,
a good number.
there's stuff to talk about with what you just said, but yeah.
Sea of Thieves 18 and Kirby at 19. I expect them both to drop off by next month. And then FIFA 18 at number 20. Cool. Yeah.
NPD lists are cool.
What's up?
I like them.
Oh, the NPDs?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love just like the world. We just talk about the U.S. I would just love the world ranked every month.
The world.
And I
Like,
want
we
to
get
see
those
numbers,
Media crate numbers.
Yes. Lastly, interesting fact. The PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 wireless controller is now the best-selling controller in dollar sales of all time.
Because of the price.
I mean, it is expensive. I think it's $70 for one of those. It was when I got it, but they might be $60 now. But still, I mean, it's a lot of controllers they sold.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch.
And headsets are still selling well because of the old Fortnite effect. Cool. Whew. We got it through NPDs. It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
Okay, so we're doing one. We're doing one this week because I'm way over on time. It is E3 season. This is an interesting take, I think. I like this. Interesting observation. Hello, allies. I have a question about what I like to call the arts and crafts sections in games. I feel that mechanics like building in Fallout 4, but also in other games, have failed to ever actually enrich my gameplay experience. At best, they feel like homework that I used some of my time on. At worst, they are so tedious that I try to skip them completely, which in turn leads me to being frustrated for not experiencing the full game. With Fortnite now being the undisputed #1 game at the moment, building mechanics seem destined to be cemented, pun intended, into all sorts of games to come. Do any allies share my resentment for these mechanics? Even if the general consensus is that their execution is done right, like in Fortnite, I can't help but sigh as soon as I am confronted with them in-game. I don't want to put a hard hat on in every game I play. Love and respect, Carlo.
I don't necessarily think Fortnite being popular means that building is coming to other games. As a
don't
matter of
think so?
fact, I think if you are making another battle royale, it's a very easy thing you shouldn't do because they got it. They're locked. You want a staircase to come out of nowhere? That's Fortnite's game that's going to do it. And if any other game comes along, they're not going to do it as good as Fortnite. I think Fortnite has it because they weren't like, this is the way to do Battle Royale. They were like, we should do Battle Royale. And oh, look, we already have this building system that we constructed for this thing that was not Battle Royale for years and years.
But I do think it's actually part of what makes Fortnite special.
Of course.
I love that you can put up a wall behind you,
Oh,
There's a high volume of players that never build.
Yes.
But
true.
that is why you cannot defeat Ninja most of the time, is because you shoot a bullet in the air, and by the time it gets close to him, a wall is there now. And so,
But
and it's... I still don't know how he does that. He builds so fast. I can't,
You don't
I
think
can't even comprehend it.
You don't think any of the games announced this year will have an ability for me to put up a wall if I'm getting shot at?
Sure.
Yes. The answer, I'm going to be able to do that, Johns.
Okay.
In some game, I'm going to be able to put up walls when I'm getting shot at.
But a game we're all like really talking about?
No,
a
like
game that
you're
appears
right.
on this podcast?
What's it called? Blackwatch?
yeah,
The Call of Duty one?
Blackout?
Blackout, yeah. I'm not going to be able to build walls in Blackout.
You're going to be able to destroy walls in Blackout.
Actually, in the multiplayer, they show you building walls.
There's going to be C4 and stuff like that. Yeah, like fake barriers.
Okay.
Nothing you can climb.
Yep. Sorry, Ben. Kept interrupting there.
no, it's
There's
okay.
no bounce
it's just,
pads
I,
and,
I'm struggling to follow this person because I don't think Fortnite being big and you mentioning Fallout 4 is enough to warrant a level of worry that building is going to be.
You don't see a
in it.
trend?
No,
Yeah.
like look at all the things that we've talked about on this podcast so far. Like the vast majority of that stuff doesn't have any building. Like Anthem's not going to have any building in it. I don't think.
Right.
And so I don't know.
Red
what
Dead
you're-
went have building.
Right, and I don't know what you're worried about.
Uh-oh. What?
Now we're talking. No.
I'm not saying that it won't.
I mean, that's a completely different take. I don't want to cut Ben off. I had that light bulb the other day.
Oh boy.
When I was talking with Huber and we were talking about Red Dead Online, and I was like, oh yeah, forts. Oh my God, forts. Of course.
Oh, I see what you like building like
Totally
with the
Red Dead
logs.
multiplayer will have that.
Yeah.
Maybe not like wall, we're staircase, but like just a slow building thing where maybe it just kind of slowly starts to construct as you're going along. Because that's the world of Red Dead, is these simple wooden structures. It makes sense aesthetically. Sorry, Ben.
No, it's okay. Just even in Fallout 4, right? Like, that was a game I think for a lot of people where building was their favorite thing, but there was so much game outside of the building. Like, you really didn't have to engage with it all that heavily if you didn't want to. And so I come back to the central point is like, where is this fear coming from?
Yeah.
Like, I think like it's fine that you intensely dislike this thing, but I don't think there's enough going on to have you be like, oh God, this is going to become a problem.
So I'll give you another example of one that I just thought of, and it's something I love the arts and crafts sections of games. I'm thinking of the gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts. I actually love building my own little spaceship.
Oh, totally.
But I know people hate that part.
Yeah, and it's something that they've taken out of Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
As well.
I love that stuff though.
Yeah.
But I get like that. You're right. It's not a trend. It's like a downward trend, if anything, these arts and crafts sections. But yeah, I love having the opportunity to build my own weird thing in a game.
Yeah. I kind of fall on the other end where I feel like I've increasingly warmed up to arts and crafts sections in the game. So I'm not opposed to it at all. But like at the same time, I don't think like it to me it sort of sounds the same as like, oh man, all games are going to be games as a service. Like I think you have enough counter examples, enough things going on where it's like, no, like don't worry, it'll be okay.
Damian, did you ever have that though? Do you ever have a game where it's just like, okay, now build me a roadster, and it's like, okay, all right, let me take a pause from the game that I was playing to do this own little separate game where I build a thing?
Not in the context we're talking about. The only thing that comes to mind that was recent was just the kingdom building in Ni no Kuni 2, which is not literal building of like barricades or a vehicle in front of you. It's just micromanaging a town essentially.
Did you find that annoying?
Not really. It's just a completely different thing from the rest of the game.
Right. That doesn't use your levels or your battle system or anything.
I mean, it influences other aspects of the game, though, so I felt like it was a worthwhile investment for me to engage in it. Plus, I felt this is my kingdom. I want to see it get built up. I want to see it look better. Yeah, it was the RP reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, think of like player housing, like physically crafting in-game furniture to then place in the house and arranging it and stuff so that it like looks nice and not like a jumbled mess of just like junk lying around, like which is usually what happens. That type of stuff I feel is fine because the games I'm playing usually offer so many other things that it's just one small facet of it that the game is not dominated by that element of it, and nor do you need to come to a screeching halt to engage a lot of time in order to progress further, or that you're just gonna not be able to progress very well because you haven't mastered this trade yet. So that's kind of like how I like see it.
It's funny though, I do see building continuing. I think this might be unfair, but Fortnite, when it was announced, to me seemed like a Minecraft clone. Mm-hmm. It was about like it was about like building a fort while the creepers came out at night, right? Like that was like what the game was initially pitched as. And so yeah, I can see it continuing. I can see more games where really like you have to build, and that's part of the game, like irrelevant to your shooting, irrelevant to your jumping. Like you have to get good at building, and I can see that getting annoying, but you won't find sympathy from me because I think those are cool. That's basically my take on this question, but I still like it.
For me, with the Battle Royale, it honestly seems like the new Battle Royale games that are coming out are not taking the building. Like when you have Call of Duty coming out there and saying like, hey, we're going to do Battle Royale, but we're going to do it the Call of Duty way. Mm-hmm. To me, that kind of seems like the general mentality of we're going to take this framework and we're going to have a twist on it, and that twist does not include the Fortnite building.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I don't think it's a problem.
Cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's funny. We have different perspectives on that, whether building will become a trend or not. But yeah, it sounds like none of us are scared of the arts and crafts becoming a bad trend. It is now time for bets. Detroit Become Human is coming out this Friday. Can you believe that? The game's finally coming out.
Sure.
Like, when was Kara? When did we see Kara first?
6 years ago.
It seems like we've seen Kara for so long.
Yeah, I think
Kara
it was.
was PS3, right?
This has been a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
road.
yeah,
It's been
yeah.
a long road.
I want to play that game.
I think it was like the end of PS3 where it was just like, we're not saying what consoles this for. I feel like that was that kind of thing. Anyway.
I always think about that phone call from that actress. Like, hello? I'm just like, hi, yeah. Remember that trailer we made? It's like, what are you doing for the next 3 years? Like, cool, all right.
So what I'm going to do next week when we're recording this podcast, I'm going to youtube.com in an incognito window. I'm going to search for Detroit Become Human, 3 words. I'm going to capitalize each word. No colon, though. I'm going to scroll down through the top 25 videos. Of those 25, how many will have over 100,000 views? Brandon Jones.
2.
Ouch. Ben?
6.
Michael Damiani?
Went high 20.
Nice. That's a good high bet. That's confidence. I went with 8. Let me lock those in. Last week's bet was about State of Decay 2, which released Friday, May 18th.
Normally we kind of strategize about the numbers when we picked or whatever. We just moved right on from that.
Oh, yeah. So,
we literally
okay.
just said a bunch of numbers and then next bit.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
it's
an
about how
unusual
popular.
pace for bets.
It's about how popular do you think the game's going to be, right? That's what the
We
question
say
is
top,
about.
and so what are they?
The most relevant. It finds
I
the
guess,
most relevant.
relevance, sure.
Yeah.
Well, there have been times where I've, like, the way that I understood this is that you're just searching for it and then you're looking at the 25 videos.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I do that, you get all over the map. Like, you get some things that are super huge, and then it's like, wait, this thing has like a couple of thousand views,
Yeah.
and it's right below it. And so it's really mixed in my experience. Therefore, 6.
Yeah. I like, Jones, I had to figure there's at least 2 trailers that have over 100,000.
Right. You're right. And you have to, yes.
Those are going to be in that top 25.
Yes.
That was my reasoning behind that one.
And our review, of course. I mean, it's gonna
Yeah, I don't know
get
if it's
6
going to hit
figures.
100K, man. I don't know.
1 million.
I don't know.
Daniel Blower's doing that.
Yeah, Daniel
He's a good
Blower,
reviewer.
working on it right now.
Watch that video.
Okay, sorry. State of Decay 2 released recently. It released last Friday. I looked at the top 10 most recent reviews on OpenCritic, and what I searched for was the word Microsoft detached from the word studios. So somebody's just talking about Microsoft in general. Ian bet 4. Huber bet 7. Again, this is the top 10 reviews. How many times will we see Microsoft? Bloodworth bet 21.
Ooh, specific.
That's one of the worst Bloodworth bets of all time. That's
Yeah.
just blood. Like, come on, man.
That's bad. That is really bad.
I bet 3. The actual number, 4.
Whoa.
Ian nailed it. I'm pretty grumpy about this one. I'm adding a new rule. That's not for you, Jones. That's for
I
Ian.
get the win though. I get the stuff.
Yeah, you do get the
He
stuff.
got my stuff last week.
Yeah.
I get his
You
stuff.
get the stuff.
I don't get the points.
You get the stuff.
I get the stuff.
There's gonna be a new rule going forward. I'm doing English only. Because this is probably just me being grumpy. 2 of those appeared in a Slovakian review, and 2 of them appeared in a French review. And so, like, I don't even really quite understand the context in which Microsoft was said, but I mean, I saw it there, and I know the word after it was not studios.
That sounds like some salt.
You could. It's pure salt because you can Google Translate. It's not like the words make no sense. It's like you can find the sentence there. But I'm so burnt by this one. I'm so mad. So in the future, when we do OpenCritic word bets, English only. Can we agree on that?
It's your podcast,
I mean, yeah,
man.
it's your rules.
I mean, does that seem unfair?
No,
don't get-
it seems
Especially
okay.
if I'm like looking for a word. You know what I mean? It's like
I just hope the next time
Yeah.
that it's English only, you lose the bet and would have won had you included other languages.
Ben, I guarantee that will happen. I guarantee I'll switch the rules back.
You picked the proper noun, though.
Then that would be dirty. If you switch it back, then come on. Come on.
I mean, if you're gonna pick a proper noun,
Yes.
whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you're gonna pick a word, like how many times will run back be said? Clarify like the word run back in English. So even if someone says run back in another language, it doesn't count.
Microsoft is international, baby.
I know, that's why I'm not getting why you're so upset, because it's a proper noun. It like what? Who cares what language?
Because I don't know what they're writing about.
You can't win them all.
Who cares what they're writing?
You're right
about?
though. I
What?
can't change the rule until after the season. I can't change that rule until 2019.
Do you actually read the whole reviews of those?
No. I just Control F.
Control
I gotta
F,
go
baby.
through, like, I'm slamming through the podcast every week. It's just like Control F, Microsoft. Okay, moving on. Like, it's that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. That brings our totals to Red Grouse 7, Gorgeous Gorillas 10. Droopy Eagle 6. So, Brandon Jones, because you're in the seat that Ian was in. Oh, actually, you know what? You're not the first person to get a reward. Ben, you got a perfect score, baby.
Oh.
You have a perfect score today. Shoot, why do I keep deleting the rewards? All right, I got to find what your reward is, Ben. So, Brandon Jones, in the meantime, you get the...
Why am I giving you the attitude, man? You did a really good job, Ben. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
You deserve that reward. That's his fault.
Oh, that I can't
For not
find
finding
it?
it, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's on me.
Thanks, Brandon.
Just
Man, this
Yeah.
turned out to be a good night.
Like, I gotta say, like, it's an interesting system that we have on the podcast, in that, like, you weren't like perfect the entire time. You get
Right.
a perfect score,
Right.
Because so basically, like,
It's like the reviews.
yeah,
Yeah.
some points go above, some points go below, but at
Right.
the end, you still got 100.
Bad frame rate, but the rest of the game made up for it.
Oh my goodness, Ben, your reward is big head mode unlocked.
That was
Oh.
already accomplished.
No, not that joke. Like, wasn't that like the hardest one in GoldenEye?
nay.
Oh,
No, Big Head was like the easiest.
Invincibility.
Is it the
was-
easiest?
Invincibility or invisibility. Those were the
okay.
two brutal ones.
okay. So big head
Whichever
mode
one
is,
was facility was.
So
I
this
think it
isn't
was
even that big of a
invincibility.
reward. This reward
No,
kind of
big
sucks.
head's like, yeah.
Man, less good now.
Okay. Yeah, less good now.
We didn't have to bring GoldenEye into this. It's just that other games have big head mode, don't they?
No, I think
just
GoldenEye
GoldenEye?
popularized it.
Alright.
Though I think it was called DK mode.
It was
in it,
and you
wasn't
had the big
it?
arms too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
buff up a little bit. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay.
All right, going back up. It's
Okay.
a train.
And Jones, actually, before you get your stuff, I want to talk about patreon.com/easyallies.
Do it.
Of course, very quickly, because we are way over schedule. But patreon.com/easyallies is the website you would go to learn more about the Patreon of Easy Allies, which is who we are. We do more than just this podcast. We make reviews, we do previews, we do live streams, we do lots of things centered around video games and our love for them.
Killer E3 coverage.
Ooh.
Killer.
Was that sincere, man?
Tune in.
I don't know if that was sincere.
It's gonna be better. It's gonna be our best ever. So
You're right, yes.
If you've seen it before and you liked that, we can. I think we can safely guarantee a better version of that.
Yeah,
coming up.
Definitive edition.
And I mean, the way that we're
Feels that way.
Like the only thing, the reason we're able to do that is that because we're crowdfunded.
Correct.
We don't make money off advertising. We do, but not very much at all. So yes, we are crowdfunded entirely through Patreon and through. Well, no, we get some money from Twitch too. Anyway, majority of it comes from Patreon. Comes from the goodwill of the people who like the stuff that we make. And hey, if you are a $5 patron, which means you give $5 a month, you get this very podcast 2 days early. You get many of our shows early. But yeah, somebody in the comments wanted me to note you also get the audio version of the podcast early. Like you just have an RSS feed, and just all the stuff is like brought to you early. You don't have to go to patreon.com and click it and download it. Yeah, it's like automated at this point. Those early feeds for being a $5 patron. Cool. Jones, you can now have your stuff. You get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to have the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just thought of in this very moment. Don't swing a baseball bat. You did nothing for this. You're just in the seat Ian was in.
It's a good seat.
Oh my goodness. You get to promote any Easy Eyes video you would like to promote, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off. Take it away, Jones.
You can follow me at Trailer Jones. Speaking of Trailer Jones, I would appreciate it if you would check out the first episode of the return of Trailer Jones, which is, speaking of Patreon, our 44K goal there on Patreon. I was joined by Mr. Brad Ellis and Kyle Bossman. We looked at the latest trailers for Deadpool 2, which is most of you have possibly seen, Red Dead Redemption, and Shadow of the Tomb Raiders. They were ones we were very excited about, ones that we were not very excited about.
So is this the kind of trailer show where like they pick it apart and like show me little trivia about what I'm seeing?
We do not do analyses of the products themselves. We do an analysis of the actual trailers. So you will find less freeze frame that. Let's look in the background and see that name on the billboard and figure out what that means. It's more, how is the music? How is the editing? How's the narration? There were titles at the beginning of Red Dead, the trailer 3. Were those effective? Did we need 3 titles? What did they say? What did we know that already. Tonally, how does this work? As far as this one spot in the campaign as opposed to other media that was... It is a review of advertising, and we actually score those trailers and then average the score out, which is fun because Kyle just drops all of those scores every single time.
Not every single time.
Once you get to the Kyle score...
I think there are
out.
going to be some E3 trailers that don't end with pre-order now.
And yeah, if you enjoyed this last episode, we will do
Yeah.
another Trailer Jones after E3, talking about our favorite E3 trailers.
Well, it's not dependent upon enjoyment. It's not dependent upon enjoyment. You said if you enjoyed it, we will have it again.
Oh, if you enjoyed it, you might enjoy the next one.
Oh, got you.
Tune
Yeah,
in
yeah.
after E3.
Well,
if
yeah.
you like trailers and E3 and Trailer Jones, it's win-win.
I mean, the cool thing is, Jones, we're doing it because we reached our Patreon tier.
Correct.
Yes, which is 44, right?
44K. So
yes.
thank you very much
That's
for
a
getting
huge
us
deal.
to that point.
Yeah, I got to the Trailer Jones tier and able to produce that.
I gotta give credit to Ben because you have been such a soldier fighting for the favor of Gears of War 4. I cannot believe the slings and arrows that you have suffered over the last couple weeks. It just seems like this keeps coming up where just like another person signs up and is like, you know what? I had problems with Gears 4. And then there's Ben being like, I liked this game. I thought it had positive things. I'm excited for Gears 5. And here I showed up again and I got all pissy about Gears 4 and how it didn't have direction and I couldn't formulate my words well. And I think you did an excellent job where you talked about the mystery and you talked about, we need a good villain or we need something that we know. I said it was direction. Obviously, Gears 4 had direction, but I just thought, go back and look at anything I've said about Gears in the last year and just erase that, and I'll take what Ben said. I think you put it much more eloquently than I could. So kudos to that, and kudos to everybody watching, to you all. Cheers. I am enjoying these microtransactions.